you for picking up the sticks. This is episode 78, Stakes Gaming Podcast. I am Myke Carnett. To my right, Myke Steak Carnett.
What's going on?
To my left, Art the Colonel Rosian. I'm back. I'm a couple ounces lighter. Thank you for noticing.
Svelte. You're very svelte.
I am. So
more aerodynamic.
I don't know if you guys were doing like a HIPAA thing, but you didn't like tell like why I wasn't here. You just said I was sick. So the other time you were out, you were away on a work trip. Yeah, right.
It's easier to make crack jokes and make fun when you didn't just have emergency surgery.
Yeah,
okay,
very true.
That's true. So I had my gallbladder removed. So
if you want to talk about it, cool. I'm not gonna put your business all over the internet. It's for all 40 listeners.
Yeah, right.
It's just like we need to come up with some kind of lie, like a
really
really
last
crazy
time.
lie.
Yeah, I had like a prepared like joke for that last time too. I didn't have anything prepared for this one.
Like I said, it's easier to crack jokes when it's not emergency medical procedure.
Yeah, so I had my gallbladder removed, and then 2 days later, a bunch of my friends moved houses for me because I'm still unable to lift anything. So thank you to the people at the Payless Hospital, all my friends and family who helped us move because I am now just a worthless human being because I can't lift anything over 10 pounds.
How is that
for
different from
weeks.
before? Oh, you can't lift anything.
Yeah, I
was like, you were still worthless.
I'm worthless. I can lift. I can lift. I can grab up over my head. Now I can't do either. I can drink and do podcasts now. Yeah. So I want to clear up a couple things. Because obviously I did watch from what you guys talked about.
I was going to say if you wanted to talk about anything from the last time we did this.
So you talked about, I think Edith Finch was, What Remains of Edith Finch was showing up on Game Pass.
Yes.
And it was in my top 5 a couple years ago. I think it was like 4-ish, if I remember.
So we saw it, yep.
Talked about the scaling problem.
Yeah.
And like, so here's my solution, because I'm an expert game developer and I'm sure it works perfectly and no one's ever thought of it before. Is I think like if you're level 30, I'm level 15, the enemies should be level 30 and 15 as well.
Yeah, that was my thought. Was like when my original thought was like, I see it as level 15, you see it as level 30. We do like the appropriate amounts of damage based on our level, and somehow in the back end it.
No, I don't only think that. I think like once the monster closet opens, there's level 30 monsters in there, level 15 monsters out there. So like I would be responsible for level 15 guys, you'd be responsible for level 30 guys, and it's like an extra level of strategy as well.
Interesting.
I don't know if a game's ever done that.
I don't think so.
I still feel like the level 15 person will get fucked.
Probably, but like I think there's gotta be some way to level that as well.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't like the system in Division 2, but I can't think of a better one. So
like the damage that you receive ends up being the same no matter who's shooting you, but like the damage you give is equal to your level. Like I can take down level 15 people, and they can still get, and the level 15 and 30 will both give me the same amount of damage, but you could do like the level 30 damage and the level 30 guys.
Right.
I don't know. Just a thought. The 2 Switch models, I think that's a for sure thing that's going to be happening.
Yeah.
It sounds way too like Nintendo to do those type of things, so I think that's totally going to happen. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would make me want to buy a new one.
When they start making games that only work on that system.
And that would probably be it. But like you said, too, like that would make me very upset because I have a decent amount of games already, and I don't want to buy a new one if I don't necessarily have to. But in this generation, like Xbox has figured that out and PlayStation has figured that out, where you have like both versions of the game,
the mid skip,
right, and
upgrade,
and that like problem with the 3DS and new 3DS was before all that,
right.
So I'm hoping that like maybe in this new version of this multi-console generation thing, it makes sense.
Yeah.
What else we got? Oh, Stadia. All right. So I don't think we know enough about it to be excited or mad about it. But the internet. So they're going to be upset about it and like it or whatever. I think it shows unbelievable potential. I think that a lot of people who had hands on it didn't really had some problems with it and didn't feel so great about it.
Stuff.
You guys talked about the 4K streaming piece of it. The way they do it is it's not like the Stadia beams to me, then from me to the stream. There's 2 different Stadia instances, what they're calling them. One is beaming to me, other one is beaming to YouTube. So everything is happening on the Google end of things. So they can have, like, I could fucking have 12 streams going on at once if they want to do something like that. And which is kind of like why I think the Stadia is kind of exciting, because like they just can like, now you have 2 instances, now you have 20 teraflops, now you got 40. Like
just do 12 of the same stream and give them all different titles and see what market research.
Yeah, it's fine.
That would be awesome.
And I think how they're going to do it, I think it's going to be a mix of a subscription service and buying games individually as well. I think it's going to be very similar to Game Pass, where you have these are the ones that you get access to Stadia with. Like you get access to the Stadia services with these games. If you want to get like the AAA premium one, it'll be like $30 to have access to it. Because like how else are they going to do that thing where like you're watching a YouTube clip, I want to play the game, and in 5 seconds I'm in it.
Yeah.
Like how else would they do that if you're not already have that game? Which why am I watching a YouTube clip? I guess unless this is the strategy piece of it.
Yep.
Or
well, I mean, I imagine like you could do, you're watching a Let's Play or something. And you're like, hey, it's a cool game. I want this game. And then it might take you to the screen where it's like, buy now.
I think there's a charge. It said it can happen as quickly as 5 seconds. So if I own the game and I click it, I'm in with 5 seconds. If I don't own the game, they send me to the exit through gift shop, and then you go to the gift shop and you buy your game or not. So there's so many. I mean, it was at the game development conference, right?
Right.
So I mean, that's why they didn't say pricing, because it's not a consumer thing. It's like trying to get developers excited about their new service, new hardware, and things of that nature.
I think I said
so
that.
like that's why it's.
I think I said that.
I think you did too. I'm just reiterating. So I mean, I think that's why a lot of people are like, "Why is no price?" Well, that's not what this is for.
I mean, yes, I want a price, but they're not doing that. There wasn't an E3 presentation, which technically still isn't even supposed to be a consumer event. It's supposed to be an industry event, but
Times
whatever.
Are changing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's. I'm going to steal this idea from another podcast. I'm going to start throwing out dollar amounts for the monthly subscription of Stadia. Let's assume that is my plan, where you get some games.
Right.
Let's say it's like the Game Pass like level of games. Okay. You tell me when you would stop paying for it. All right, $5 a month. I would get it. 10. 13.
At 10, I'm already considering what the catalog is.
Okay.
Because it's $120 a year.
15.
That's my
hard stop.
Hard stop is 15. Hard stop.
I feel like that's kind of where I land too. Somewhere between like 10 and 15.
Yeah,
like,
somewhere between.
Yeah, I mean, if they have a good catalog of games I'm actually gonna go out and play, like most of the stuff on Game Pass, like it's cool, it's there, it's cool to have it there. I'm not gonna go out and play all of it. I downloaded way more games than I'm ever gonna play from that service.
I bought way more games than I'm gonna play.
So it would have to be a list of games I'm actually gonna play.
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, and it could be like things I've already accrued from PlayStation Plus and everything else. Like God knows, again, and that's the big unknown. Like, sounds awesome. The technology is stupid, and if it works, which is always the big if of these type of things, right? If it works, it sounds stupidly amazing. And then what am I going to be doing with it? Like the streaming stuff and the downloading stuff and the I'm stuck in this part and it takes me right to a YouTube clip. Stuff like that is super cool. But if I'm playing dog shit games, who cares?
Right.
So I don't know. It's like there's so much like still up in the air, but I'm like, I want to say like I'm cautiously optimistic because I don't think I'm even that either. I'm just like I want to see because I want to see it in action.
Yeah.
They've made a lot of big promises. If they can deliver on half of them, it'll be amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, that tech is it's stupid.
Oh yeah,
it's unbelievable what they're
absolutely.
I mean, what they're thinking that they can do now, and then just seeing how like that scales over the next 5 years, 10 years, and to me, it doesn't look any different. Like it's all happening on their end of it. It's them, putting they're calling like the Stadia instances, like they're putting their instances together to make bigger, better things. And I don't got to do anything different. I don't got to buy another $2,000 computer or anything like that. Like hell, that all sounds amazing.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yep.
All right. I think we're ready to go over the normal flow of things. It's nice to be back.
Now we can start the show.
Yes, now we can start the show. Now we've no more old business. All right, on to new business. Steak, what you playing? What you drinking, by the way? What are you picking up?
My spruce.
Oh, yeah.
Still had a couple in there from winter. It's good. So continuing.
Don't put that in your nose. Yeah, can you like put it in your nose and shoot it at the camera?
Oh, that'd be amazing, actually.
Possibly. I may also end up with snot all over my microphone.
Another hospital visit. I don't know how I get in there.
Maybe save it to the end then. So continuing Steak's year of VR.
Oh, very good.
I did see you on there.
I bought, played, and finished Moss.
Oh, very good. So is it as good as everyone's
Moss is awesome. Moss is phenomenal. It is so much fun. It's very interesting the way they do things in there. The puzzle solving and everything is awesome.
So I was confused about how, so you're not the mouse, right? Okay, so how do you move around?
You are the reader.
Okay.
So you use the DualShock and you just control the mouse like a normal game, like a normal adventure game. And then you got 2 buttons: one's attack and one's dodge, and then you use the analog stick to move.
Okay.
That's simple as that. So it's more like you are like God overlooking, watching, and then like helping the reader out. Then like when he needs a staircase move, you grab the staircase and you move it and stuff like that.
Okay.
But you are controlling the mouse as well, like with the attacks and everything and all that kind of stuff. But no, it was fantastic. The story was excellent too. The story was awesome. It ended in about 4 hours only, which is I wanted more.
Oh, really?
Like, I was pissed that it was done already. I got it on sale, which was good because I got it for like $23 or something. Because that game's like never on sale.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it was. I wanted more. And the end basically is a cliffhanger. And it's just like, okay, I tweeted to Polyarch. I'm like, so when's book 2 coming? I'm like, we kind of need that now.
Yeah.
I need that now.
When did Moss come out? It was like
Moss came out last year.
Okay.
So it's been almost about a year now. Yeah, it's been out for, I want to say about a year now or so. Yeah, so fantastic. So we've got a PlayStation VR. Go grab Moss. It's awesome. So then after that, I did pop in Doom VFR for a little bit.
The first time you played it?
Yeah, first time. Yeah. And they don't fuck around like the very first thing. The very first thing you jump in, you hit start, and you're oh my god, you're shitting your pants.
Doesn't sound like a good time.
No, it was awesome. I was playing with the aim controller. The controls take a little bit of getting used to. It does have like the glory kills, like the other one does. So when when they all start glowing, you teleport into them to do the glory kill, which is very cool.
Yeah.
You got like all the different guns and everything. I mean, they do a really good job with that. It takes a little time to get used to because originally the default is teleportation to move, and I turned that off to free. And I felt like in the free took me a minute, but then I was like, okay, now I got this. All right, I'm good now. But you could also teleport too. It doesn't turn the teleport off.
Okay, cool.
So if you're getting in trouble, you want to get out of there really quick, you can still kind of use teleport to kind of get out of like a situation really quickly.
Does it like mess up your brain though? Like to go from
a little bit. While I was playing, I was fine. This is another instance where when the helmet came off, I was a little woozy for about 10 minutes.
It's called withdrawals.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're just...
So yeah. But it was very cool. So I'm looking forward to diving back into that. So again, as of right now, for the little bit I have played, it's only $20, so I do recommend grabbing it if you got a PlayStation VR. Next up, I have a problem, guys.
Oh, how can we help?
I bought Final Fantasy VII on the Switch.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I keep rebuying all these fucking Final Fantasy games. I have Final Fantasy X paid off and reserved for next week. And I am tempted to get Final Fantasy XII 2 weeks after that for the Switch as well. I have a problem. I have a serious problem. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And now it's getting closer, and I'm like, I'm doing it. Especially 10 is my second favorite.
Yeah,
next to 9.
10 too.
So it's like I do want to have that. But yeah, so I'm at the part of the cross-dressing part of Final Fantasy VII right now. So I'm collecting all the items currently. It's a good game. It's a good game. But the nice thing about this is it has that where you can speed up the game times 3. So like when I'm in battles, I have that on during battles for sure, because it's just like battles are like I started without having that on. I'm like, no, I forgot how slow the battles are. I'm like, no, I am keeping that on for every battle. So it's helped kind of speed things up a little bit.
Speaking of which, I'm 11 hours in.
Oh, nice!
I very rarely do I turn on my Switch and see someone's playing. And it was him playing Final Fantasy VII.
Awesome.
My kids finally reached a point where I don't have to like hover over his shoulder all the time. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you going to put in your mouth? Don't put that in the socket. No. So I've been sitting there playing on my Switch while he plays with Transformers and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and all this other stuff. And
good parenting, by the way.
Yeah, that 3 times speed I use a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, early on I used it in battle, and then there were some battles where like I needed to use an item and it went too fast, and I was just hitting A to just attack.
Yeah.
I needed to use an item and it hit attack, and someone died or something.
So is that do you like? Is it like a button push to turn it on?
It's the left analog click.
Yeah, you click in. Yeah, and then it turns on.
The analog clicks do a couple different. That speeds it up. I don't remember what the right analog click.
The right
both
analog
analogs
gives you 9,999 HP and 999 MP. So it maxes out your bars and stuff. Which honestly, like on playing on Switch is fine because like on PS4, if you use that, it disabled the trophies. But with this, there are no trophies. So if you want to, fuck it, who cares? Like I'm not using it because that's the whole point. I like the grind and everything, and actually going through it.
And then if you double click both analogs at the same time, it does something else. I don't remember what.
Yeah, it does. Turn off random encounters, I think. Because Final Fantasy 9 had that where you could turn off random encounters.
I remember that being one of the things.
Yeah, so I think 7 might have that. I think that might be it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing earlier before I came here. I just finished up Cosmo Canyon.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
God, I can't remember how much the game I remember.
I'm trucking along. I'm still not to the furthest point I've ever been in the game, so this is still all kind of repeating stuff. And I still remember where you have to make a turn here and go to the back corner of this room to pick up an item that's hidden on the floor or something.
Yeah.
Playing through this time, I actually stopped and paused. I'm like, what the hell do all these different stats mean? What do I use a mind source for? Mm-hmm. What do I use a power source? And I've actually I started looking up on my phone, what does this do? What do these stats mean? And I was thinking about it. I'm like, why didn't I ever do this before? It makes so much more sense. I remember when I first played this game, you didn't have the internet at your fingertips every time.
Right.
Because it's a 20-year-old game.
Yep. Oh, yeah, now with the internet, it's so great. It's actually even better.
And that's, I can go to a webpage, and it basically has in small webpage form the walkthrough guide that was a book that was about this big when I first had the game. And so, yeah, I've been...
I guess I'll have it.
I have the strategy guide still.
I think
I'm pretty sure I got rid of it when I got rid of the game. So yeah, I've been actually digging into what does all this different stuff mean? All this stuff I used to carry around and just sell before. Yeah. What is? Oh, that makes me stronger. Good. That would have been usful.
The materia system's excellent. It's actually a really well done system.
And actually, that's something I've looked into more and I'm paying attention. Before I would just put all of whatever materia on whoever, and now I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that lowers your health and the amount of magic MP points you have. I'm like, okay, let's reconsider this.
Yeah.
Let's put a different thing in there that bumps that back up a little bit. And then I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, I know this character dies in the game. I'm not going to use that person in my party. Some of the stuff I know happens in the game, I'm like, all right, I'm not even going to bother using them and leveling them up. I'm just sit on the bench.
Yep.
And I'll find my, 3 or 4 people I'm going to use throughout the game, and that's who I'm going to roll with and just keep using and leveling up. And all the weapons I get for these other people, I'm just going to sell them and take the money for them.
Yep.
It's a lot different than when I played it before. Just from that perspective of it, it's still the same game.
Right.
And it's I put 11 hours in I don't know, a week here. I'm sure
pretty good.
I'm sure I'm gonna hit a point where I'm gonna be like, okay, art needs a break.
Nice. Another game I downloaded, Operencia: The Stolen Sun. This is from Xbox Game Pass. They showed it off. I think it was during that Mexico Inside Xbox showcase. This is the
Xbox.
This is the modern dungeon crawler.
Yes.
It's done by Zen Studios. This game is awesome. Awesome. If you like the first person dungeon crawling, old school kind of games, and it looks great. There's 2 modes. There's a high performance and a high high quality. Yeah. And I turned them. I went through the 2 of them, and I didn't notice much of a difference. So I just left it on high performance then because they ran a little bit smoother. But it actually looks pretty good. The story's interesting. The characters so far are cool. The voice acting's very well done, I think. It's getting hard, but that's how these dungeon crawler games, they always get hard. And you got to start strategizing and thinking and stuff. This giant, this mini giant, I thought it was a giant, but it was a mini giant, I guess, destroyed me 3 times in a row before I finally figured out, okay, I should do this first and then do this. But no, it's really cool. If you've got Xbox Game Pass, highly recommend checking it out. It's a lot of fun. And the last one that I've put, if I had to guess, my guess would be 15 hours in this week, just as from this past weekend, is Borderlands Game of the Year.
Whoa.
I gave Borderlands another chance. I am way further than I've ever made it. I just got to New Haven, so I am making progress, and I've been doing everything, all the missions I can do.
Did you go out and buy the Game of the Year edition?
Yes.
Do you know? So Borderlands 1 is on Game Pass.
That's the 360 one.
Right. I'm wondering if they're releasing because on the PC, if you have original Borderlands, they release an upgrade patch for it.
This is not the same one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not. They didn't do that with this one. Yeah. This one did not get the 4K patch. This didn't get the DLC or anything like that.
So I know for if you have the Handsome Collection, they release 4K patch for that as well.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel both got 4K texture packages. So I'm loving it. It's great. I mean, I'm glad I'm getting into it because now I'm glad when I'm not because that means now it's September 13th. I'll be buying Borderlands 3, I'm sure.
So when you're done with that, if you want to borrow the Handsome Collection, I can slide that your way.
I bought it.
Okay.
It was 13. With my Gamers Club still active at Best Buy, I got it for $13 last week. Nice. So I was like, okay. It was on Saturday actually. I ordered it because I started playing Borderlands on Saturday morning, and I was like, yep. I'm getting it now. I'm in now. Okay, and I quickly ordered because I dropped her off I dropped Melissa off at that baby shower, so I was like, oh, pick up in Countryside. It's right there. I'm gonna go drop her off, go pick that up. And
very nice.
Perfect. And I got a physical copy. I was one of the lucky ones to get a physical copy. The GameStop I went to got 1 copy in for Xbox and 2 in for PS4. It's exclusive to GameStop too, the physical, which is stupid. Being exclusive is fine, but the fact that they are only sending 2 copies of each system to each store, and that's what you do. I used to work at GameStop. I know how that works. Employees buy that shit, especially Borderlands. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but I was so happy I was able to get my hands on it. And it came with a giant map of the whole, which is awesome.
I'm wondering if that's something you hear GameStop's they're constantly their business is in trouble because digital is the thing now, and used games aren't being bought as much, and for that the Borderlands Game of the Year and the Borderlands 3 Collector's Edition are both GameStop exclusives. Right. So I'm wondering if that's
the Mortal Kombat one was also.
I'm wondering if that's something they're going to start pursuing is doing exclusives to try to get people in the door. Because Lord knows, every time I go to trade in a game there or something, once they get you in the door, they're like, "You want to buy this? You want to buy this? You want to buy this? You want to buy this?" I'm like, "No, man, I don't want to buy anything right now. Just give me my credit so I can go home."
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely, and then because I actually picked up that From Software VR game. Whatever it is, yeah. GameStop had it for $10 this week, and the physical is exclusive to them. So I was like, oh, perfect. I was like, oh, all right, another reason for me to come in there.
Yeah, that's an interesting model.
But yeah, so Borderlands is fucking awesome.
Nice. You good?
Yep.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
So much. But I will tell you, I'm good. I don't know what you plan on doing. I'm gonna get. I have it on Xbox. I'm gonna get Borderlands 3 on Xbox. So I don't know what you plan on
PlayStation.
Okay.
Because
that's fine. I'm just letting you know because I know that's a big. It is a big co-op game. But I am getting it for Xbox.
It's definitely better, more enjoyable co-op. That's Andy doesn't have an Xbox, so
okay.
That's who I played Borderlands with.
Gotcha.
All right, which plan?
I already mentioned Final Fantasy VII. Mm-hmm. That was part of it. The other one is Borderlands, a pre-sequel.
Hey!
I'm all by myself.
It's time to join in.
I played once for a 10-hour stretch, and I just never picked it up again. I don't know why.
I
liked it.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint with that game originally was I never really got far into it because you're on another planet and they introduce a oxygen system. You have to go find geysers of oxygen or little machines that put up an oxygen bubble, and you have to replenish your oxygen and then go do something else or replenish your oxygen, and it's kind of micromanaging and annoying. However, I started playing as Claptrap. What is Claptrap?
Little guy.
Robot.
Robot.
A robot.
You don't have to worry about oxygen.
What do robots not require? Oxygen.
But doesn't that make the rest of the game way harder?
So when you select Claptrap, they give you 30 warnings before you select them. It's like, are you sure you know what you're doing?
This is a joke.
It's are you sure you know what you're doing? This guy never shuts up. Are you sure his ultimate moves will potentially harm your teammates? you're playing by yourself, that doesn't matter.
True. Right. Yeah.
So, and that's like when I started playing before, I didn't want to take Claptrap because his ultimate is it's random. You hit the button and you get one of a series of random things. And I think I only had one that was pretty useless. But like one I hit and he goes into Gunzerker mode, which is dual wheel, just constantly firing. Mm-hmm. And when it reloads, it auto reload. Like you don't have to hit the shoot button. You just move around and point. Right. There's another one where he throws it. Actually, he has a couple of them where like one he throws out some kind of drone that flies around and attacks your enemies. Another one, another drone on the ground attacks enemies. And then there was one which actually wasn't the worst thing, but basically he just constantly like jumped up and down the whole time.
Okay.
Which it's annoying trying to aim and shoot, but it also makes it kind of hard to hit. Mm-hmm. So I've been playing through that. I mean, it's a Borderlands game. It's not as terrible as it was the last time I played it. However, that means there's one usable character that you can play with that does not have the oxygen micromanagement nonsense. So I'm pretty sure I went back and did like play with others. I probably wouldn't like it that much again. Mm-hmm. But playing by myself, just rolling around as a robot that doesn't need oxygen, it's fine. It's a fine game. That's all I got.
Quick question. Tales of the Borderlands.
Yes.
Where does that fit in? Because I started playing it on PlayStation,
So
I think I got through episode 2, but so I want to go in order, so because we got it on Xbox too, so I'm gonna play through it, start from the beginning. Now that I'm actually getting into it, I'm gonna start from the beginning. So I just want to make sure I play it in the correct after one. I
feel that the characters that you come across in there, I think are mostly from 1.
Okay.
Because I know you come across, I think Brick and Mordecai, and they're both from 1.
Okay.
And your buddy right there is in Tales.
And he's from, I don't know if he's in 1. He's definitely in 2. He's definitely in pre-sequel.
Okay.
I think it happens after 2 because I don't want to spoil anything.
No, you're right. It does happen after 2 because he's dead.
Oh, well,
okay.
I didn't want to say it.
I know.
Well, no. If you start playing the game, he's a ghost.
That's true.
Yeah, no.
It's immediate.
No, I've you can't avoid this stuff online. It's been out for years. Like I know Handsome Jay.
So yeah, I guess technically it fits in after 2.
So play 1, play through 2, and then play Tales, and then the pre-sequel.
I don't know if the pre-sequel matters.
Right? Yeah. I'll probably just do it that way just to kind of break up. Because I'm going to probably be, after going through 1 and then 2, probably be a little overloaded. So Tales at least is like a Telltale, so it's universe, but totally different.
Yeah, right.
And
kind of take a break.
So
that's yeah.
Well, the first 2 episodes I played without even like getting into Borderlands was hilarious and great.
That's what I said.
So I'm excited now that I'm going to know the characters
right.
to actually really dig into.
Yeah, that game you can play without knowing much of anything about Borderlands. It's a great game. If you know Borderlands, you get all the references and
that's what I'm
everything
really excited for.
And
see what I missed in those first couple episodes that I probably would have gotten if I played the.
If they have Loaderbot in Borderlands 3, I'm going to buy it. I have missed Loaderbot so much. That's all I got, right?
That's all I got.
All right. So I know I've been gone.
Outside of the thing, I'll talk about later.
Yeah, right. I know I've been gone for a month, probably like a 2-week period. Why just didn't get to play anything for multiple reasons. So after I finally got a TV hooked up and a PlayStation hooked up.
Woo!
You're welcome.
And everything's all hooked up.
Woo!
I have not.
Is the Xbox hooked up?
Xbox hooked up?
Woo!
I got the Xbox hooked up?
He had to get out of the attic to move, so
that's right.
He might as well hook up. Have you seen his TV stand yet?
Not yet. No, I haven't been over there yet. No.
I
know.
Well, clearly, you didn't help move.
I got the Xbox, then the NES Mini, the SNES Mini, the PlayStation Mini, the GameCube, which is now hooked up, HDMI, whole deal, and my PlayStation all the way across.
Nice.
I have 7 HDMI devices hooked up to my TV that only holds 4.
That sounds about right.
I have a Switch on there.
Did you reserve the Mini Genesis?
No.
Have they even released a full game list for that yet?
First 10.
I was never a Genesis kid.
Okay.
So I don't have a nostalgia
Sonic?
for it. And I have Sonic Mania on my Switch, which is a great Sonic.
Do you have a
game.
Switch dock in there yet?
No, that one goes in the living room because
you sound like me. So I've had sidetrack.
Yeah.
A while back, I hooked my Switch dock up to my TV upstairs because my Switch was always upstairs. I had the charger up there, and my Switch never came in the basement. I hooked up the TV, so I'm like, oh, well, I might as well put the dock up there. I'll sit the thing in the dock, let it charge all the time, and so on and off, I'd sit there and play a game. I'd play Mario or whatever, and it was like months it's been hooked up. And this past Sunday, like 2 days ago, I sit there and I start playing Final Fantasy, and Karen looks up and she's like, You have video games in the front room? I look around, I'm like, yeah, the Switch is on top of the TV in the dock. I'm like, it's been there for months. I told you when I hooked it up, there's a game controller charging on top of our DVD player. What?
Oh, that's awesome. That's
and I'm like, yeah, it's here. Don't worry, I'm not going to play it all the time so you can't watch terrible TV.
Anyway, so, all right. So speaking of, okay, well, here's something you can't do after not playing video games for 2 weeks. You can't jump back into Bloodborne. So I played for like
that sounds about right.
an hour and a half. I'm like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know where I was going. I don't know I don't know what my motivation is right now. And I just kept dying, and I was just like, Bloodborne's gonna be my white whale. Like, it's just going to be. Like, I've gotten into it twice.
It's gonna be your Final Fantasy VII.
It really is.
Don't worry. Like 20 years after it came out, you're gonna make a goal for yourself to beat it that year.
But I was really enjoying it, and that was the thing that's kind of like the heartbreaking piece of it. The game is so obtuse to begin with, and it's just like trying to like get back right to where I was is like impossible.
Sure.
So of course then I would go out and buy Sekiro.
Yeah.
I've only played it for like an hour. I mean, I don't have any real impressions outside of I do really kind of like instead of like dodging in Bloodborne, you're deflecting in that game. So it's kind of like the same idea, but just timing's a little bit different. And I think I'm getting deflecting down better, but I'm also really early on. I'm having more success early on in Sekiro than I did in Bloodborne, but it doesn't mean anything.
That does not mean anything.
I know.
I've got way further in Sekiro than I ever did in a Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
I've officially given up.
Oh.
I have my point.
I want to give it a try, because like I said,
I have too much shit I want to play to let this suck the life out of me. Like, it's so good. We should talk about that later.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
So like I said, I put like an hour or so into that. I was just like, I wanted to play something mindless on my new big gorgeous TV that I have. So I played Spider-Man. I never finished.
I figured you were gonna say like you busted out the NES Classic. No. You played like an 8-bit game on your new shiny TV.
Original Mario.
I did. On the very first thing I played on my GameCube was Wind Waker. I got just to start off with and just check it out. So just to make sure it works. So I played like an hour of that too. But yeah. So what I ended up doing was I just busted all the way down to the easiest difficulty, and I just wanted to play through the story. And I played through the story of the second DLC, finding out that the last costume is the Spider Clan one, which is like, I really want that one, which requires getting 100% and everything.
Yep.
Like, shit, here I go again.
Yep.
I'm playing on super easy, so like those like
you started blasting
like,
White Snake and
so like playing on easy in Spider-Man is like, you're dead, and it's really nice.
Fuck, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so I did that.
I 100% that bitch on whatever default, and it was a bitch.
I finished all like the.
I did see you pop some Spider-Man trophies.
Yeah, so I did all that. Got the Spider Clan costume, which is awesome.
It is. It is awesome.
So cool. And like I played the third DLC in the Spider Clan costume, which made no sense because you're like this super cartoony character and everything else is like hyper realistic. Finished the third DLC as well, so I have 100% on all those things. Even though I don't want to say the debate of like cheating on easy mode, that's not a thing.
No.
If the game doesn't stop you from getting the trophies,
who cares?
So like I got 100%. I got all the story.
If the game cared about that, they would have a trophy on there like beat game on hard mode.
Yep.
So whatever. I mean, again, so I got it all done. Finally wrapped up Spider-Man. It had a couple of really cool moments between Spider-Man and Silver Sable at the very end. Yeah. Which was I thought was kind of neat, but overall just like
so disappointing.
It was the third DLC was so short. So short. And like the collectible on there when you're finding like the case files, that was interesting, but beyond that, like whatever.
Yeah.
So new game I started playing, a game called Baba Is You. Have you guys heard of that?
I've heard of it on one of the Kind of Funny podcasts.
Yeah. So it's a Switch and Steam, I think.
Okay.
Game right now, where it is a super looks like everything's drawn with like a crayon. It is super. Okay. It's really really low res, and it's a puzzle game. It's a one screen puzzle game. And it's a logic game, and kind of like if you like logic puzzles or computer programming, this is kind of what it is. Where you go into a puzzle and you see words all over the screen, and the words are like the rules for that screen. Where Baba Is You is the name of the game, but also Baba Is You means I am controlling Baba, the little white character that you move around. but you'll see like wall is stopped. That means I can't go past the wall. Or a flag is win. That means I need to touch the flag to win the level and move on and get my... I don't even know what you collect when you get them all, but you get a little thing that you collect as you go along. I'm really enjoying it because it's one of those things where like, I'm an idiot. Why isn't this working? I'm the smartest man alive. I got it to work. Because like all these things, there's so many different iterations and so many little like details you got to pay attention to. And then sometimes it's like, oh, you just got to move this because you move those words around. So like I can move... I guess it's like wall is stop. I can move the word wall over to where it's like wall is you, and now I'm controlling the wall, and I can move around that way. So like, there's sometimes too where like I've moved a piece that made the game unplayable, where it's like where I had like nothing is you, like there's no word there in the level. You fail the level, you gotta restart. You all right there?
I just noticed this was bottled like a year and a half ago.
That's fine.
It's fine.
It's alcoholic.
It's age perfection.
But yeah, it's like I'm at the point right now where like I could get I've opened up what I think is the final boss, and there's things like the final levels, and I'm like, I don't even know what half these things are supposed to do. I haven't learned any of these tricks. I haven't learned any of these things yet. This is I gotta get out of here. So I back out. But like they would do some really smart things where like you're doing the same level like 2 or 3 times, but just with like a small like change in it where like you can't use the same trick, or you gotta like really like there's like like flower is teleport. So they got 2 flowers and you can teleport back and forth from there. And like the first time it's super easy. Just teleport over, you move a couple things around, and you're good to go. But then they move the teleport to the other side of it, of something that would kill you, like a wall or like lava or wherever it is. And you completely change your strategy. And everything else is exactly the same except for one thing that they moved from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen and completely mess up your strategy you had that worked before. It's the things I've done to past levels. I feel like no one's come up with this. This is mine. No one else has been able to come up with this. I've stumbled upon a solution, and it's unique and it's mine. But I think there's also multiple solutions to each one of those things. So it gives you like a real level of creativity. And like I said, it makes you feel like a genius and like an idiot. Like level to level, everything changes.
Sounds like computer programming.
Exactly. Like, why is this working? Oh, it's working perfectly now. So yeah. So it's
in the final level. Have you thought about the semicolon?
I gotta run a debug on that bitch. But yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I'm at the point right now where I think I don't breeze through any levels anymore. Like I can't look at it and be like, all right, I just gotta get this over there and make it happen. I gotta change myself to the rock and make the Baba is multiply, whatever. I have to like sit and think and test and try, and then I come up, I slowly like piece out a solution. And then still fuck it up, and I gotta start over again, and then I gotta do it all over again. But yeah, it's really great. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's $15 on Switch.
Cool.
Really enjoying that. Last but not least, I played and finished Walking Dead Final Season.
Ooh.
The last episode came out, I think, when I was in the hospital. So I played through episode 2 in one night and 3 and 4 another night. I got to the end of 3. I'm like, it's 11.
I gotta do this now.
It's Saturday. It has like a cliffhanger ending, of course.
This
a lot
is
of those do. I
happening.
was like, I gotta play through. So I played all the way. I think it's like 4.5 hours to play through. It's only 4 episodes, which is different than the other ones. But the first 3 episodes were all like 2.5 hours, a little bit longer than the normal one. The last episode was 2 hours. Now, before I get into this, I don't want to spoil anything here, but I'm assuming you guys are never going to play this game.
Probably not.
So here's what I propose us doing. I'm going to talk about it like in broad terms now. At the very end of this episode, I think we should put it back together, and I'll tell you what happened at the end and do like a spoiler cast at the very end of the episode.
Sure.
Okay. I did really enjoy it. I cried multiple times for multiple different reasons.
Nice.
Like when the opening credits of the final episode started, I cried because like this is the last new Telltale thing,
Right?
You know, and it wasn't even them, but it's like the last like of
that era.
type
Yeah,
of thing.
absolutely.
They brought back some interesting music choices from previous series as well. That which was like they have, I think it's called like Nirvana did it in their Unplugged. I think it's called In the Pines. Mm-hmm. They have, I think it was in season 2. They had a version of that song that was actually sung by one of the artists from Telltale.
Oh, okay.
And it's great. Like
cool.
It is a great rendition of that. And they brought it back for one of the credits for one of the here, and it was really, really great. Not a single hiccup. Okay, let me wait. I was gonna say not a single hiccup. That's not true.
Of course not.
A couple frame rate drops here. And there.
Good old Telltale.
But I said I had frame drops in Sekiro too, so it happens.
Not even Telltale. It's still Telltale.
So like yeah, so I had a couple like jobs like the frames dropped off. Didn't have any crashes, nothing like that. It kept that really cool art style like I talked about when I played the first episode, where it's like things in the distance are more black and white.
Yeah.
These zombies have a very distinct color to them, which actually becomes more important later on. It's like that, like greeny, gray, grimy nastiness that zombies are. Like you can, and it's kind of proliferates when people are having problems. But like, I thought it wrapped up in a way that I felt good about it. I know some other people haven't been super happy about it in terms of like the experts, quote unquote.
Sure.
But I really liked it because I think that what happened really fit with the story arc that I was working with Clem and AJ over time, the child that you've basically adopted from Clementine to AJ's. So like the stuff I've taught AJ over time and the way I've treated Clem over time, I think made sense for all this. For how it all is going to end up, we'll talk about later. But one of the coolest things, like the main crux of this season was you, or Clem, teaching AJ how to live, how to have some humanity in this inhumane world. So AJ was born in the zombie apocalypse. It's been going on for years at this point. So like most of the world's already gone to shit, and he needs to learn how to live and survive, but still be a human being and still be decent. So like at the end, I'm gonna spoil this one piece of it because it happened like months ago. At the end of the first episode, AJ puts a bullet in the guy's head, and like after he's basically already surrendered. And so like in the very beginning of episode 2, you have a choice of being like AJ being like, "Is that wrong?" And it's Clementine. I'm gonna be like silent. There's always an option. No, it was justified. This guy was an asshole. He had to come in. No, you're a murderer because he already gave up, and like that's not okay.
Fuck you, man.
And that's actually that's what I chose. Like you're a murderer. He was no longer a threat. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So and like at the very end of the season, they always give you like here's our relationships. 49% of people said this or whatever. The coolest thing I think they've probably ever done in terms of a Telltale game is they give you all the things that you taught AJ throughout the season.
Okay.
Because like all the choices you made and how those imprinted onto his mind over time. It was kind of cool to see all in a collection of how many things and how many even like small things that seemed like it was done in passing, like actually imprinted on him. And one thing is very important later on near the very end of the season that you taught him that didn't seem like that big of a deal that became a kind of a big deal at the end. But we'll talk about that later. If I were to rank the seasons, obviously one's the best. Not even close. Like one is like it's one a bunch of gray area. Then it's probably I think 4 might be number 2, and then 3 is just pointless. Like honestly, if you wanted to play these games, if you bought like the collection that came out, if you pre-ordered it, like play 1, 2, and 4. 3, AJ is missing, and Clem's kind of a badass. You're all caught up. That's all you need to know from 3. But 4 wrapped up in a way that is, I guess I don't know why. I just don't understand why it's fully controversial. But we'll get into that later. So, end of conversation for Walking Dead. Now,
Shut up.
If you want to find out what happened, I'll be gladly to share it at the very end of this episode after we've pretty much already signed off, so we can kind of tack it on at the end of it. All right. But at the end, man, I was at the end of playing it. I had the most massive headache because I was just like, it was intense, and I was crying, and it was hot, and I was just like, it was just so much was happening. Like it was just like I had such a massive headache at the end of it. I was just like, thank God it's over. But yeah, we'll get more on that later. Steak, cool. What's coming out next couple weeks?
All right, April 11th, Earth Defense Force Iron Rain for PS4. On April 12th, Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 4 VR kit.
We didn't even talk about that, did we?
No. I may have reserved. We'll see if I pick it up.
I can say
let's see. The fact that
I just can't imagine being like this.
I know,
like,
but the fact they announced...
I could. You know why? Why? Because mobile phones have been doing it for years.
Well, yeah,
mobile
true.
phone, I can still have the headset. You just like... But
the original Google Cardboard, you slid your phone.
It was
out
cardboard.
and held it, yeah.
Right. They're ripping off Google.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, but that was years ago at this point. There's no strap on that thing, right?
Exactly, it was years ago.
Yeah, no, but the fact that Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be fully in VR, I will be borrowing that from someone so I can check that out.
Nah. Don't play that shit game. I'm trying to get views.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
You're going to piss off the internet.
I'm pretty sure I was given hot takes on that game when it was still popular.
On April 13th, Konami Arcade Classics for PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
I'm so confused by what that is. Do you get the whole collection?
So, you get the whole thing.
Okay.
So, Konami Arcade Classics, that's like the Gradius 1 and 2 and a few others. I think it's 8 games total, I believe it is. So this is the first of those collections that we discussed last episode.
So I thought I don't know. I never read into it, but I thought like it was almost like a Zen pinball thing where I have like the outline of a game and I got filled in with.
No, because I think the reason why you're thinking that is because for like the Castlevania and the Contra, they announced the first 4 games, but not the second 4 games for those 2 collections that are coming out later in the summer.
Makes sense.
Just tell me what I'm giving you money for.
Just tell me the release of the Castlevania and what I'm giving you money for. That's all it is, because I'm buying it.
Shut up, take my money.
It's going on Switch for sure, because that's where it belongs.
I bought today. I bought the Phoenix Wright trilogy.
Oh, nice!
I obviously haven't played it.
Switch?
But I bought it on the Switch.
Yeah,
I have credits sitting in my PlayStation account that would have basically paid it all off for like $2. I'm like, I gotta get it.
You can get those trophies though.
I know. I just feel like it should be on a Nintendo system.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense because I played like half of one on the DS like, forever ago. But.
If I decide to pick that up, it will be on Switch. Yeah. April 16th, Anno 1800 for PC. City building, real-time strategy. I don't know.
How do you know what that is?
It says right there.
I think it's time to around the Industrial Revolution too.
Yeah.
I only know that because I heard someone talking about it on that podcast. I'm like, Industrial Revolution. That sounds interesting. I'll have to look more into that later. I didn't know it was city building real-time strategy.
Also on April 16th, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster for Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. I keep forgetting that all these are coming out on Xbox as well, which is just mind-boggling. That Final Fantasy VII is on Xbox. It's crazy.
That is
it's crazy. My Time at Portia for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One is also on April 16th. Also on April 16th, World War Z for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. On April 17th, Trooper Brook for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. On April 18th, Cuphead for Nintendo Switch. What am I going up to? Oh, yeah.
Just don't stop. Don't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Don't stop, never stop.
Oh, God, no. Come back.
You
okay,
go
one more
to
day. April 23rd, Cytus Alpha for Nintendo Switch. A rhythm game. Ooh, I'm going to look into that. I'm missing the rhythm genre. Is
the beat?
Very lacking right now.
Although
I do need to still get Beat Saber. So
now
I know it's $30. That's what keeps turning me off to it.
So now that I have a GameCube hooked up, I was going to eBay just curious.
You want the Mario DDR again?
No, no, I do not. But they have like the Donkey Konga.
That game is awesome.
And I saw they had
oh my God, it's so much fun.
They were selling. Someone on eBay was selling just the game and 2 sets of bongos, and it was like $60.
That's not bad.
I know it's not
bad. That's not bad at all.
Because those bongos.
There's Donkey Konga and Donkey Konga 2.
And Jungle Beat. It was like an adventure action game.
It's so good. I played the crap out of that when I had a GameCube.
Someone had it in my dorm, and I played it a couple times. Like, it was really good.
So good.
I never pulled
the
trigger
girls
on
would
buying
love
it.
it. They would love that.
Shit.
Oh yeah,
I know they would.
Are the girls allowed in the man cave?
Yeah.
as long as I don't want to use anything in there, it's whatever.
Right. Also on April 23rd, Dragon's Dogma: Dark Horizon for Nintendo Switch.
I've always missed that one.
I've heard great things.
Yeah, everyone loves it. Like it's one of those things where like people who love it, love it.
Yeah. And finally on April 23rd, the game we are waiting for, Mortal Kombat 11 for PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Finish him.
Extra.
Oh
wait. God, I miss a week.
Oh my God.
So 2 out of the last 3 episodes.
Right.
2 out of the last 3 episodes that I've appeared on.
Yeah, that's true. You did get it right the 1 week. Yes. So half of the last 4 episodes, you've messed up, and one of those you weren't here for when you didn't mess up.
I didn't get it wrong though.
That's why I say you didn't mess it up.
Your PlayStation Plus games for April. This is the first time we've announcing this. And me and Art got into some with some people on Twitter.
Oh, really?
So yeah, we did.
It wasn't some people. It was one turd.
Oh, that's true.
Was
yeah,
that on our account?
No,
it was on our personal accounts.
What the fuck?
Sorry.
God. If you have gaming thoughts,
I know.
put it on our account.
But I gotta get both. I keep forgetting to link both of them.
I would say, yeah, I need to get a tweet deck set up at work again.
Yeah. But for PlayStation 4, you can download Conan Exiles and The Surge. Kind of month.
I'm gonna play The Surge.
I got that for free when there was a price error. I got the complete collection,
right.
So I got everything for free. I played it's basically a sci-fi Dark Souls like first-person shooter and a little easier,
Which apparently is a thing I'm into now.
Yeah.
So
you might enjoy it. And Conan Exiles, my coworker said he played it like he could not turn it off, but it was terrible. But for some reason he hit level 20.
So it was a car wreck.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. He's like it's so bad, but I had to keep going. Yeah. So there's that. And once again, that is it for PlayStation Plus. And that was our argument with this jerk.
I was like,
wait, fill me in because I missed all of this.
I don't remember what you posted.
I basically posted again. And I was like, oh, so this really is it.
Yeah, right.
2 games again, and like, why aren't you adding a VR or
something?
What did I say? Or a third indie game?
Yeah.
Because we used to get all those cross-buy
Right.
games at least. Because if it was even on Vita, like most of the time it was a cross-buy with the PS4, so we at least get bonus
Yeah, right.
games then. And I made a mention about that, and then this guy's like, quit whining, you're getting what you're paying for or whatever. And then
I commented, or you did your comment. I replied because like PlayStation was tagged it, and I'm like, we're getting less for our money. This is not what any of your consumers want.
Right, that was it.
Between
Yeah,
decisions like this and blocking crossplay and other decisions, you guys are gonna find yourselves behind in the next generation. You're gonna be asking why.
Yeah.
And this other guy chimed in. He's like, you're not getting less. They're free games. You're not paying anything for them. So we're gonna break down.
So then we broke down the math.
I see the arc of this conversation.
And actually, we got really technical. We were like, before we were getting this many games for this amount of money. Now we're getting this many games for this amount of money. And then I was a dick. I was like, by my calculation, this number is less than this number.
Right. I mean, so far they've had 4 like I don't say AAA games, but 4 like above. No indie games
here's
yet,
the thing.
right? So,
Modern Warfare Mastered. Okay.
The Witness.
Okay.
That's a $40 game. Conan Exiles is also a $40 game, but
maybe it shouldn't be.
Does it have dongs in it, or did they edit that out for the console?
no, I think they still have that. I believe. Oh, I don't know about console. That's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah, play.
I don't know.
Play to see it done.
And then honestly, and then the Surge, like, okay, that's fine. Honestly, fine.
But
maybe give you the complete collection, not just the basic.
I was thinking that too. Like,
because the complete collection is like $30.
If they're gonna do this kind of thing too, like I don't see. Has PlayStation Plus or I guess Xbox games with Gold, have they ever released like the Game of the Year edition on anything, or is it always just like the base model of the version?
Yeah, it's usually just the base. It is usually just the base model, but like for that, like
that could be a thing.
There's
like
your little bump.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that could be like
the
increase the perceived value of what we're doing as opposed to a decrease.
Yeah.
That we've been feeling with this, going from 6 games to 2 games.
Right.
I don't know. Like it's just so stupid. Like
it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand like why an indie developer wouldn't want to have that spotlight either. Like we talked about, like have one more indie game.
Look what it did for Rocket League.
My God!
Yeah, it's huge.
Rocket League would not have been what it was, I think, if it wasn't for that.
100%.
Honestly,
100%. And like just like not everyone's gonna be a Rocket League, but at least everyone's gonna get a chance. Everyone gets a chance to try your product.
Exactly.
And and you get money for that too.
Yep.
So like, I don't know. It's just a missed opportunity for Sony. I just don't understand what they're doing.
Even some indie games, like depending on what their financial situation, that's like put your money where your mouth is type moment. Like you believe in your game that much, here you go. Just give it to people, and word of mouth will make it popular if it's that good.
And I had a different person off of yours give me a hard time about. Well, not everyone owns PlayStation VR. Well, guess what? I haven't owned a PS3 for 5 years either, and I was still getting PS3 games.
Right.
So,
but like I said,
but it's just one of those things. Like, give me something for my value. You have to replace.
But like we talked
They gave
about
you more
before,
cloud storage space.
But like we talked, like
yeah,
we talked about before, like
it cost them nothing.
I don't own a VR. I didn't own a Vita for a while either, but I was stacking games, and we're like,
You never know.
Right.
The price is right. You grab one. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Sorry to cut you off.
There was one. I feel I just off the cuff like responded to someone's. Oh, it was like when like the Australia like not prime minister, but a strong Australian like official was talking about like how video games are like making people kill each other. Like back in like the 1980s thing, and I put the Robin Williams thing from Jumanji. Like, what year is it? Like on there. I just put it on mine because I had like hundreds of responses. And fuck,
I know.
Fucked it up.
It's funny though. I think people are wary of responding when it's an official.
Because
I think they don't. They're just like whatever
right.
kind of thing. But when it's like a personal thing, they'll personally attack you.
Well, the whole like the beef I have over the PS Classic, that was on the official account.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And y'all got privy to that one because you got the chirps.
Oh yes.
Phones
yes.
Like anyway.
Then your Xbox games with gold for April of 2019. So for Xbox One, the Technomancer from April 1st through the 30th, which always looked interesting. So I always wanted to try it. So
especially now that new the Zelda one is coming out. I forget what they called it already. Like
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Tales of the Crypts of the Necromancer or whatever.
It's
totally different.
It's like made by the same people, but it's a Zelda themed game.
Yeah, but this is not that game.
I know it's not that game. No. This is like the same.
The Technomancer is an action RPG, like 3D and everything.
They made two games like
that.
Yeah. All right. Never mind.
And then your second game is Outcast's Second Contact from April 16th through May 15th. For Xbox 360, which is also playable on your Xbox One, this first one is actually an original Xbox game. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, from April 1st through April 15th. And then also Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare 2 from Xbox, from April 16th through April 30th. And then your Xbox Game Pass for April, on April 1st, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was added. It's a 65 gig download, so get started on that. I still haven't played it yet, but one night I was like, well, I might as well start the download. And then on April 4th, Minecraft was added. And then tomorrow, which is April 10th from when we're recording this, they're supposed to be announcing like 6 or 7 more, which makes me angry. I was like, damn it, we're recording tonight.
Personal question. Do I need Xbox Live to have Game Pass?
No. But
excellent.
If the Game Pass game supports multiplayer, then you have to have live in order to use the multiplayer. I'm just saying you have to have live to use the multiplayer stuff. But
that
no,
makes sense.
Speak as someone who no longer has a gold subscription but has Game Pass. No, you don't.
Oh, good. First game that counts. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
It sounds like they're working on a discount
bundle,
lately, which is good. Which would be good. Yeah.
Well, and like I feel like. Even like Microsoft, people have been tweeting out like Game Pass like deals they've been finding out like on Amazon and things like that. Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of a thing that will be.
Well, and currently, if you buy 3 months for $30, you get 3 months free.
Right, only one. So I tried buying it twice. And it didn't work out.
So 6 months. But
they figured out how to cap that.
Now. I was saying after the last time they screwed that up.
Yeah.
So you can get 6 months for $30, which is half the price. So
right. Yeah, I'm looking.
And it's totally worth it.
Now that I have an Xbox.
A lot of stuff coming out. You finally open up that Crackdown 3. Terry Crews.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, you should form your own opinions.
No. It's free. I'm not gonna get into that Twitter beef with you guys, but I should just try it out for the hell of it. Because I did really love 1. Like I loved it a lot. Whatever. Is that right?
Is it?
I do the extra thing now. Right. Extra.
You're not gonna start announcing new games added Switch Online.
Huh? Oh no.
They haven't.
Should I? Maybe I should I start adding that?
Punch Out.
Maybe I should start. I'll say Punch Out was added. There's
coming in like the next couple.
Oh really?
In April. Punch
Out and Mr. Dream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then there's two others. You see Mike Tyson's pissed.
Of course he is.
Idiot.
He wants that money.
He must have forgotten that he must not have known that they made another Punch Out on a Wii, because he's like, how dare they make another one without me? It's like, dude, that came out a long time ago.
Well, you know, they had to pull you from the first one after you rape somebody, so
Yeah,
That's a problem. But
that's a good point. I should start.
who, like, wait, hold on a second. So it's Punch Out. What else they add? Come on, news guy. Extra.
I just looked it up last night. Fuck.
I didn't know it was a thing. I'm so far behind. I'm just out of my. See, take 2 weeks off. See what happens. You're racing. You're gonna win.
Mario the Lost Levels.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep. And Star
Star
Soldier.
Soldier.
Never heard of it.
It's a smut.
When I played the very first time I played the Lost Levels on the PlayStation All Star cart, I touched the mushroom that kills you.
Oh yeah.
But it was like going. I was an idiot and a kid, so like it was going off the ledge, and so I was a new mushroom, so I didn't know what the hell it did. So I jumped at
Whatever
it.
this turns me into.
I want to see what it was. So I hit it, but I also was like right at the bottom of like a pit. So I didn't know if I was like, if the pit killed me, if the mushroom killed me. So I touched it again, and I realized those kill you. So it took me 2 tries to realize that the killing mushroom actually kills you.
I didn't know if I had a seizure or if I stuck something in an electrical outlet. So I tried it again.
Extra.
It's time for the news, finally. Okay, so Borderlands 3 got announced.
Did it ever?
Oh yeah.
So far, they announced September 13th as a release date. There will be 4 different versions of the game released. There's the Standard Edition, which is just the game for $60. Deluxe Edition, which is the Standard Edition plus cosmetic packs and a XP loot drop mod for $80. The Super Deluxe Edition, which is the Deluxe Edition plus the Season Pass for $100. And the Collector's Edition, which is the Super Deluxe Edition plus a loot chest, like a physical loot chest. 10 character figures, a 3D model of the map, 4 keychains, character lithographs. That's $250, and that is sold out.
Damn. And isn't one of those pricing like a limited time? Like,
the DLC or the season pass will go up in price. Yep. I think once the release date hits or something.
Makes sense.
I've pre-ordered the Super Deluxe Edition.
Good for you. I'm happy for you.
I did not spend $100 in the game because thank you, Gamers Club.
Yeah.
So that knocked it down to $80. Plus, I had a $10 reward certificate from buying the Division, so I got it for $70. I get the game and the season pass for $70. So I'm happy with that.
Nice. That's not bad at all.
So I mean, you're the resident Borderlands fan here. So like, how are you feeling?
I'm pumped.
Good. So it looked just like Borderlands to me.
Because
like,
fuck everyone that's pissed about the fact that it looks just like Borderlands.
Okay, so yeah, there was some article I read and they're like, it's a new game. It should have this. It should have new.
It should have Battle Royale.
Fuck that.
Oh yeah.
They're like, it should have new characters. It looks exactly the same. Something else. I'm like, well, first of all, it does have new fucking characters. If you played Tales from the Borderland, you would see it. There's new characters in there from that game. So there's that. It looks exactly the same. No, it doesn't. It looks like newer generation graphics. Yeah. So get your head out of your ass.
Guns are on legs. They got legs now.
Yeah. They have a gun that runs. You just throw it out, and it runs and shoots.
That's so good.
I want that now.
But from everything I've seen, like watching the trailers 3, 5, 10 times, it looks like classic Borderlands gameplay. You have a 4-person squad. You're in the world. You're doing your own thing. They have alluded to there being multiple worlds, which makes me a little scared they might put that stupid oxygen bullshit on some of those worlds again.
I don't think so.
I'm hoping they don't because that's.
How was that received like in the community?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I said maybe I'm just being a little bitch about it.
Probably.
It's definitely a possibility.
I just don't. I don't think they'll.
I put that mechanic up there with like GTA San Andreas, where you had to eat meals and you had to go work out and all this other stuff.
I put that in Sonic level when you had to get the bubbles in the underwater. Okay, that's the level I put that on.
Sounds pretty much identical to it.
Oh my god.
So there's that. They show it's 4 new playable characters, but then they still show in the trailer, I think they showed Brick and Mordecai, who are originally from Borderlands 1. They showed Lilith, who's from Borderlands 2. They showed Reese from Tales from the Borderlands and Fiona from Tales from the Borderlands. So they are tying everything into this game, which I think is awesome because they've built a nice world there. Yeah. They have a story going with all these characters intertwined in one way or another. So I think it'll be interesting. It's looking at Reese. He looks a little bit different. He has a mustache. He doesn't look like the bubbly, friendly guy you remember from Tales from the Borderlands, which almost makes me wonder if Handsome Jack corrupted him and he is now the leader of Hyperion. If he's not like a villain character. So
that would be really fucking cool, actually.
So yeah, they have all this, a bunch of stuff in there. The thing I'm most psyched about is they have not talked about this being a shared world of any kind. It's not, the games as a service model. It looks like it's just fucking Borderlands, which I pray to God it stays that way, because that's all I want.
Seriously.
It's you have games like Destiny where you go around the shared world, or even in Division, you go around the shared world. There's other people there. You don't have to interact with them, but like I don't want to run around and see other people there. I don't want them shooting at the people I'm trying to shoot at. Just let me do my thing. The model they had worked. I hope they stick with it. That's all I got to say about that.
I was just touch really briefly, because a lot of people are pissed that on PC, this is Epic Games. Here's my thing, because people are like, they're all getting mad. They're like, all right, this is why I buy PC. I don't buy console. Steam is free. Epic is free.
Right.
It's not the same as a console exclusive at all. Like, I understand you want all your stuff maybe in one location with Steam. I get that.
It is one location. It's on your computer.
Precisely. So do not even compare this at all to a console exclusive at all. Like, it's not even the same. You don't have to buy a whole nother $400 or $500 machine to make this game work. You have to spend 2 seconds signing up for an account in this game
and text your buddy, hey.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's insane that people are freaking out over this on PC, and it's like
they're just I don't know.
There's something to complain about. So part of it
this is
like,
why console games. I don't want to deal with those fuckers.
Well, I don't know if you saw it. There was like a picture online of like the scene from The Simpsons where the two monkeys are fighting in the pit, and the crowd's there cheering, and it's like as up for the crowd, it had like console owners, and for the monkeys it had Epic Store and Steam.
It's great.
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh yeah.
I'd like to see like legitimately like a Venn diagram of like people who are upset about this and people who are constantly complaining about working conditions for game developers. Because a big part of the reason why these companies are going to Epic is they get 18% more of the money from selling their games.
Yep.
And they don't have to wait to sell 10 million units.
Exactly.
On a big AAA game like that, that's
my God. It's going to be insane.
And I mean, you have to think the more money this makes, the more longevity there is in those people holding on to their jobs.
Yep.
Maybe they can hire more staff and not have to work, 100-hour weeks.
It's going to fund the next game. We're just going to fund more people to work in the game, which theoretically should make it the work week easier.
Yep.
Right. So, and that's like people are complaining about, bitching and moaning about their own inconveniences and having to open a different app to launch the game. But yeah, I'm like, did they miss the article that came out that said that Epic's big thing was they were only taking 12% of the revenue as opposed to Steam's 30%? Because that's kind of a big deal. I mean,
huge deal.
If the government's going to make you pay taxes, you can give them 12% or you can give them 30%. What do you want to do?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And like the complaints I've been hearing about the Epic Store is like it doesn't have like user reviews, which honestly I don't want.
I don't care.
Neither did Steam when it launched.
Look what happened. Look at the Borderlands on Steam now.
Yeah.
It got review bombed because of that.
So that's good. That's helpful.
But yeah, so that people started just tanking the reviews on other past Borderlands games.
It's ridiculous.
Let's be part of that community. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Good for Randy Pitchford.
I say Randy Pitchford came out and said, after seeing this, I'm kind of glad that our publisher decided to go with Epic. And
you know what? If I was him, I'd push it further than 6 months. Make it a whole year.
Well, like you said, he's like, if things don't change over there, we may just make all our games Epic exclusive going forward.
Awesome.
But then Steam responded by like they have some system in place where they like take all of those reviews, and like they took all the reviews from like a certain time period, and they just took them out of their average review score.
Right.
Like they're still there if you look for them hard enough. Like they won't show up in the normal search, but they don't affect the review score, which is good.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Stupid.
So yeah,
damn PC Master Race.
Pump for Borderlands 3.
Good.
So apparently in Division 2, they kind of leaked the next Assassin's Creed game.
Was it leaked or was that like a plant?
It's a plant.
It's a plant.
Yeah.
It's a plant.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do that a lot in their games. They'll
Yeah.
put stuff for future
Yeah.
games.
And
And
they did that for. I think they had, and the game got ended up getting canceled. Didn't it just happen, or am I just making that up? Like
What?
they put. Fuck, what's it called? I don't know. They put like. God, what was it called? There was a game that was like it was in Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
Like they had like a mission where you were
it's
like
the end. It was the ending. Yes, it was the ending. It was a space game.
Yeah.
And, there was,
And that one just- that one just got
officially
canceled, yeah.
they just canceled that. Like
But that-
Frontier, I think.
I think
yeah,
that sounds
that was
right.
the name
but
of it.
even like in Watch Dogs 1, they like had a poster or something in there for Watch Dogs 2,
right.
which basically like said where they were going to be and like
Yeah.
the whole plan for the
Yeah,
thing.
right.
So basically all the information known about it at this point is it appears that it's going to be based in Norse mythology and it's due out in 2020.
cool. Very cool.
Good. That gives me a whole another year to play Odyssey and finish Origins
I gotta
still
jump
too.
back. Like Odyssey is like it's like I just started playing all these other games. I was really enjoying Odyssey, and all of a sudden like Apex Legends came out, and like this is all I played for a while. Anyway,
And last news item, about a week ago, there was a leak of some potentially upcoming Switch games, which some kind associates who may or may not be employed by Best Buy anymore at this point, if they found out who they were.
Hey, if those guys from Walmart still have their job,
there it is. I was gonna say like that Walmart Canada thing. 3/4 of that
Excuse
ended
me.
up being bullshit.
Yeah, right.
That's Canada.
Yeah, well, yeah,
They're much more polite up there.
that's true. I'm so sorry.
Sorry,
But the 3 games that were leaked with screenshots of the Best Buy inventory system, whatever you want to call it, were all for Switch: Persona 5, Metroid Prime Trilogy, and Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Oh God, I want to play some of those games a lot.
Persona 5 is real. I'm saying because
think so,
they've
too.
already hinted at that end of April. The Persona 5S clearly means Switch,
Right.
And now, especially with this pretty much confirms this.
And
Especially
the
since
dude
our
in Smash Brothers as well. Like,
right, I saying Joker being there because I'm calling it right now. That 25th when they announce this is the day Joker gets released in Smash as well. So that has to be real. Metroid Prime Trilogy, we know that's coming to Switch. It's just a matter of time when. We know. That probably got delayed with Metroid Prime 4 getting delayed.
Right.
So my guess is that's going to come out either late this year or early next year to feed our Metroid Prime until 4 is ready, because that's not going to be ready for another couple of years now, at least.
Easily,
At least.
yeah.
The Link to the Past is interesting because we're getting Link's Awakening.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you're already giving us that this year. A Link to the Past, it's like, I would think they would want to wait to see how that sells. It does.
Remasters are all the craze.
I mean, but
I agree.
There's 2 very similar titles coming out possibly in a small time frame.
Right, and that's the one where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know I don't know if that's, or if like they messed up the, because I think, well, they probably already have a listing for Link Awakening. I'm assuming
Yeah,
they could already
they did.
Okay.
That was one of the things that was like later on in that thread.
Okay, yeah,
we
okay.
talked about that too.
So that's the one I don't. But Persona 5, I think that just pretty much confirms coming to Switch, and then Metroid Prime. We're all not stupid. We know that's coming, and then that one. Hey, Link to the Past 2. Hell yeah! Keep
Hell
it going,
yeah.
Nintendo.
Hell yeah.
Keep it coming. Amazing.
All right. I think we're finally going to get into the topic we've been trying to do for a while.
Like a month and a half.
A month and a half. So the topic we got is I want to say just like bad games, but the least renowned games in beloved series.
Right.
So I would say either bad games or games that weren't very well received. Some of them, I got a couple on here I actually did like, but they're not as good as the other ones in the series.
I forget what received. I just went with personal feelings on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll start off. I think the easiest one for me to do was Assassin's Creed, which was Assassin's Creed 3. And that was the thing that made me not play those games anymore. And I miss good games, and I miss 4, I miss Syndicate.
Right.
I also miss Unity, which is plus. So like, I played 1, which again that was like almost like a proof of concept. Like 1's a very different game than any other games that they put out past that. 2 was like the refinement, like this, like all the ideas we got. It's great. Brotherhood, I think, was my favorite of those games by a large margin. I loved that game. Revelations was fine. 3, I just wanted to get through it. I stopped doing all the side missions and like the navigating around the woods was kind of cool, but like I didn't really connect with the story. I thought like the colonial times would have been really cool, like to even just like to walk around and be in and meet people and things like that. And it's just like everything's kind of just short buildings and woods, and I didn't like the environment that much on there either. And then I wasn't connected with the story, so like I just let me just get to the end of this. And I got to the end of it, and I'm like, oh, they're still going, and they're still like the modern day stuff is just like doesn't make any more sense anymore. They're not doing like, and like I don't know, like all the stuff I was really liking about the series, none of it was in 3. And for some reason they remastered it and put it out very recently.
Oh my god, I don't know why.
Also got reviewed poorly.
Yeah.
Bad games still bad.
Yeah,
Go
bad
figure.
games. Yeah,
Looks better.
yeah. I mean, but like it's like
Not much.
the problem. The problem wasn't how it looked.
Must not update your drivers.
The problem was it just wasn't fun. Like, and all the things that I think made Assassin's Creed really cool, like when you're climbing up some like ancient ruins and it's like you're on this like you're on the top of like a beautiful chapel or something like that. Like that was wasn't there.
Swan dive off into a hay bale.
Yeah, and like I even like the multiplayer of like Brotherhood and things like that, which is like a side offshoot to it, but like that wasn't even fun. Like I don't know, I felt like just like completely missed the mark of what made Assassin's Creed great, and like jumped me off the series up until Odyssey when I started playing it. So, what else you guys got?
So I love the Tomb Raiders. I've always loved Tomb Raider.
Which one you got?
Angel of Darkness.
That's really bad.
So this was the first time on PS2, next gen, and everything. It's like, all right, super pumped.
I remember reading like cover stories, in
oh my god, it was insane. I mean, Laura Croft, her boobs were all over those covers. Like it was everywhere.
More round.
A lot more round. Yes.
Like a bag of sand.
What was it? I think it was 2 that they started getting rounder.
2, yeah. Nothing was like 1.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just like, you know, like I said, I love the Tomb Raider games. Like 1 through 4, I really enjoyed. There was that one in between, Revelations. Was that 4? Or was that just
the last Revelation or something like that?
Yeah, that was like, it was just more of the same. Like it wasn't great, but it was just more of the same. So I was like, all right, this is getting kind of tiresome. So I was excited. Angel of Darkness. All right, PS2 full 3D, like more, you know, smoother models and all this good stuff. It was so dark you could barely see anything. The controls were god awful.
How can you see boobs when it's that dark?
Right. I know. It's dark and she's wearing black. So it's like, what the hell?
It's slimming.
Yeah. It was just bad. And it's just like, this is not a good way to enter the next gen. Because at the time it was the PS1 to PS2. Right. And it was just like, this is so disappointing. Ugh.
The one I got is before that, which was 3.
Okay.
3, I think, had a lot of swimming in it, if I remember right.
Okay.
And swimming just didn't work. Even in a lot of modern games, swimming is still difficult.
Right. Oh, swimming back then was awful.
It was.
Oh, yeah. I hear you.
It was just. I don't know. I just remember getting 3 and being like, I'm not enjoying this at all. Yeah. I hate this, and jumping out of it. I remember buying it. I remember having to go to like 2 different electronic boutiques to find it. Right. Because that was a thing back in the day. A new game, it wasn't always available. Yeah. So I had to like go to 2 or 3 stores. And I finally found it, and I got home. I was like, this is not worth the journey. So I really didn't enjoy it. Yeah. That's where I jumped off. I think that's kind of where I jumped off too. I think I played Legends.
Oh, Legends was so good.
Legends was good.
So good.
And I've been playing
that whole trilogy. Legends, an Anniversary, the retelling of 1.
Right.
And then Underworld.
I didn't play Underworld. Oh. No, I did enjoy Legends though, and I did enjoy the new iteration of it as well.
I gotta finish Shadow.
I have recently moved. Rise is the second one.
Rise is the second one. Yes.
I have recently moved Rise from my backlog into currently playing. So that might be my next game.
Oh my god, Rise is so good. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I bought it like 2 years ago. I just never got into it.
One of these days, I still gotta borrow that so I could do the Craft Manor, the VR stuff.
All right, what do you got?
WCW Nitro.
Nitro was terrible.
So,
and they made another one. They made Thunder.
You had WCW vs. the World, which introduced the U.S. to the greatest wrestling game engine of all time.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was actually played it recently on my phone.
Nice, nice.
Then you had
I'm terrible at it.
WCW NWO World Tour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same engine. Mm-hmm. Great game. Mm-hmm. Then you had WCW Nitro. and then you had WCW NWO Revenge. Why?
Did they make a WCW Thunder in there too?
They did. That was after that.
that?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was when it all started going downhill. There was Thunder. I think there was Mayhem. There was Backstage Assault.
Yes, there's a new WCW logo. I remember that.
It was they coming off of those games, the THQ games with the AKI engine. Hopes were so high, and then I remember that game. They announced a release date for it, missed the release date. This is before Games Media is what it is now, so there wasn't reports all over the place. For months, I'm sitting there calling Electronics Boutique. Myke, is it in? No? You got a release date? No. Do you know what's coming out? No. Just randomly calling. Like, I'll be sitting at home one day. I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm going to call him.
The amount of times I did that with Diablo 2. Because that was kind of that same era where I had no idea.
And I think it was like the day it finally came out, like I was like beeline to the mall, get the game, go home, and it was just awful.
That's just a terrible feeling.
Awful. It was.
That sucks.
And that was when I learned what disappointment is.
Art learned a lesson that day. All right. We're going to jump into one of my favorite series of all time, Mortal Kombat.
Ooh, I didn't think about Mortal Kombat. This wasn't bad.
Mortal Kombat 4.
Oh, you're sticking to Mortal Kombat.
So
okay.
we're not going to talk about the side stuff. Because we're not going to talk about the Sub-Zero game. We're not talking about Sub-Zero. We're sticking to the main title, Mortal Kombat.
I rented that thing. And
I think I just Special Forces. Jackson's. Oh, terrible. But Mortal Kombat 4 gave us some great characters. But God, did it look terrible. It played terrible. Yeah. It's just bad. I mean, like I said, it gave us Shinnok. It gave us Fujin. Which is awesome. Mm-hmm. A couple of great characters. Give us Tanya, which is awesome.
Who's a blind guy?
Kenshi? No, Kenshi was
Ray
Deadly Alliance.
Oh, you're right.
Which was like, which is like, okay, like that one was like, okay, here's an upscale of MK4, but with better gameplay.
Yeah, right.
Graphically didn't still look great, but gameplay was way better than Deadly Alliance. But Mortal Kombat 4 was just terrible.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat versus DC?
Personally, I loved it. I got it. I understood what was going on, and like I knew going in with the T rating clearly what I was getting into.
So even though they couldn't really make it a Mortal Kombat game because the rating, DC wouldn't let them do fatalities and the superheroes.
Yep. But they still did decent. I mean, they did what they wanted to do with a lot of it. Like they got like the Joker, they kind of pushed the edge a little.
Like, I would say bringing that up, like that's not on my list. I just know like it was a departure from the standard Mortal Kombat.
A lot of people
formula
destroyed it. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I played the shit out of it.
And plus, you got to think that probably
the story was where the story started getting good with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I figure that probably led to the fuck's the superhero fighting game they make?
Injustice.
Yeah, that probably led to that.
Oh,
being a
absolutely,
thing.
It did. That was like kind of the because that's when they first got the rights.
Yeah, I mean,
and WB I think was more like, hey. We like
show us what you can do.
Show us what you can do, like with this, and like I'm sure, and like even like Ed Boon he's still proud of that game. Like in the interviews when he talks about it, because like he never like people like sometimes like like are like like sometimes they were like we should never have done that. No, Ed Boon's like he's proud of that game. He still enjoys that game, and I do too. I thought it was really well done.
I have no opinion. I just remember it being like a controversial thing when it came out that like it's Mortal Kombat, but it can't be Mortal Kombat because they won't let them kill the superheroes.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to put a game I actually enjoyed, which was Batman Arkham Origins.
Oh, people hated this one for some reason.
I mean, it was obviously not the same studio.
Yep.
They didn't have Riddler trophies. They had like these data files that you would like. It was still from the Riddler. It was the same thing, but it wasn't Riddler trophies. Like you're piecing together files. Right. It was before he was really like the Riddler. You had more. That's when they first started doing the like reenactment of the like crime scene. You would go in there, you have a crime scene thing. But like, why would you have more abilities in a prequel than you would later on in the series? So it's like,
yeah.
And it was my thing that I didn't like. All those things, whatever. Like I can suspend disbelief better than anybody. Like I can whatever. But my problem was like all the stuff leading up to the game was supposed to be a Black Mask story. Right. And I love Black Mask.
Sure.
And I think and he's a great villain. He doesn't get his due in like the bigger stuff. Like he has some huge, massive roles in the comics, but not as big in like TVs and video games and movies and stuff like that. I'm like, awesome. I'm gonna get my Black Mask story, and like halfway through, like it's another fucking Joker story. It's another one. Like I understand he's iconic. I understand the Joker is like the greatest villain and things like I get that, but give someone else a goddamn chance. And the story didn't need the Joker. It could have been perfectly fine, I think, without, because the whole idea was like Black Mask was going to hire a bunch of assassins to take down Batman on, I think it was Christmas. I think it was supposed to be. Yeah. So that's why they got like Bane in there and a bunch of other people, and like some of those like Anla and Deathstroke, and those fights were really cool, and they had some other fights that were really terrible. So like it was one of those things where it was just not quite up to the same level of quality, like the same level of care, especially coming off of Arkham City, which was great. And Arkham City,
the best one of all of them.
And Arkham City ended, and this came back a year later, and they had like multiplayer and some other nonsense of that era. And it was like kind of an offshoot. It wasn't as good as the other ones. Like it's still like my least favorite of the 4 games. But like just like treating it like it doesn't exist is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
So you like Arkham Knight more than Origins? Mm-hmm. Wow.
I do. But I'm a big fan of. Well, I'm spoiling Arkham Knight for anybody. Have you played Arkham Knight yet?
Nope.
All right.
It's not the Arkham game I'm going to play.
Good.
It's not the one you deserve.
No, it's not. It's not the one I already own.
I'm spoiling Arkham Knight. So, like, I mean, Arkham Knight ends up being, Jason Todd's Red Hood, and I love Red Hood.
Fuck!
No, shut up. You know what it is. So like for me, like that alone, like getting a chance to do that, and like actually have him, he was like a playable character in one of the DLCs, like getting a chance to do that, like moves that up for me.
Got it.
So yeah, I mean, it's still my least favorite of them, but you're talking about like some of my favorite games of all time.
Sure.
So like being the whatever, that's perfect. That's still not a bad game in my mind, and like honestly, it didn't review poorly. Like it's kind of it's like. You get to play Batman again. It's fun. I would kill for one of those right now. It's been years since Arkham Knight. Like, give me an Arkham Origins 2, and I'd be super happy, and just have someone who's not the Joker be the main villain. Just once, goddammit, just do it.
Whatever Rocksteady is doing better be freaking epic.
When did Arkham Knight come out? Was that 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It better be freaking epic, because each year they keep saying because they even say when a big event's coming up, we're not going to be there. Like they because they know people are expecting them, so they have to come out and say, "No, we're still working on it."
They went. Okay, so from City to Arkham Knight, they had there was about the same amount of time frame, right? Because Origins, they didn't make Origins,
right.
There was about 4-ish years, and like Arkham Knight came out, hit a big E3 like blowout, and that was like the first time you saw it. And it was like PS4, like, oh,
right,
God, it looks amazing. And then it came out like a year later.
Yep.
So like they're kind of in that time frame still.
Yeah.
But
oh my God,
it's just like
let's go.
But Arkham Knight, but like it's still like it's for me. It goes like City, Asylum, Knight, Origins. So like Knight was kind of I don't want to say dissatisfying, but not as satisfying as the previous games. So like people were like, I want more games because I love this series. Now it's like I want more games because I want more of it and have a better taste in my mouth for the last bit of it. I think now it's kind of where the Arkham games are at, if they even make any more. And they totally could.
Just tell me what you're working on. I don't care.
They're remastering Bible Adventures.
Fine. Like,
cool.
Fine. I just want to know what you're working on, please. Like, okay. Normally, I am the type of person where I'm like, don't tell me until it's out. But now it's gotten to the point. Just tell me what you're working on. Like, I don't care if it's 3 years away. I just want to know.
But like, it could be anything.
I know.
Anything.
That's what I'm saying, because I'm sick of every year saying, fantastic. "Oh yeah, it's the Superman game. It's the Superman game." It's not. It's not a Superman game. You're never going to get a good Superman game. You're not.
It's probably not. I mean, Death and Return of Superman is about as good as it's going to get. Except for SNES.
Well, that was good.
That was a good game.
Because that was in that era where, like, if you did that, it just worked.
Oh yeah, make a side scroll and beat him up. Yeah, get out there.
It was
Put a cape on him. He's Superman now.
Can we just reskin bad dude?
Sure. Can you fly? All right.
Cool.
Perfect.
Cool.
You're
perfect. Right. This game's great.
All right. What else you got?
So when I said before, it's mine's personal opinion. This one's definitely personal opinion. Because there's some people that love this game, but I don't. Super Mario 2.
That is like, okay.
I do not like that game.
So you actively don't like it. It's not like it's like your least favorite in the series. It's like
no,
you
I just don't like it. Period. It's so there's some stuff they introduced in there that's I think it's kind of cool. You have 4 playable characters. You choose your character. They all have kind of different skill sets. You know, Mario's I think is just kind of average. Luigi jumps high. The princess floats. Toad I think can carry shit and not slow down is his thing, right?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's been a while.
But like take that game and look at every other 2D Mario game, with the exception of the original arcade game. It's like it's not a Mario game essentially.
Did they make a Game Boy game sequel?
No, not a sequel, but when the Game Boy Advance came out,
right?
It was Super Mario Advanced, and it was that one.
Oh,
it was basically that game.
So it was just 2?
It was just 2, but basically, but like, I guess remastered, because 2 came out on NES,
right?
So it was Super Nintendo graphics.
Okay.
So they bumped it from 8 to 16-bit then.
It's just so weird they never like went back to it for something like.
But 2 gave us Birdo.
And Shy Guys.
Guys.
Like I said,
but none of it makes any sense because it's all a dream.
No.
However, it's now in the Mushroom Kingdom.
No.
So how is Shy Guys a thing if it's just a dream? How are they a thing?
But
he willed it into existence.
I guess.
I like 2. I like
that's
2.
what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, I know it's not like
I do get it. No,
the prevailing opinion.
Sure. I like.
I don't like it. Like, I don't. It doesn't fit in with every other 2D Mario game.
Yeah.
And they never went back to it, so like that leads me to believe like they did it, and they're like, okay, we did it. We tried the thing. This is our formula.
Right.
The other thing we were doing.
It's just such a weird story. Like, it's a completely different game in Japan. They're like, put Mario on it. And then we got to figure it out. We got to put Mario on it.
Yeah.
Sell it to the Americans.
We got to sell some of this shit.
Yeah. Like, it's just such a weird story. So that's why it's just so, but it's so weird.
And it's like all the normal things you see in Mario games, question blocks, Goombas, it's not there. You're pulling fucking turnips up and throwing. Yeah. You're throwing vegetables at people. What the hell? I mean, don't get me wrong. If I wanted to get someone on my face, I'd throw some vegetables at them, but
That's all you got.
It's just...
You can't, like, jump on someone's head. You gotta pick them up.
Yeah, I mean, you jump on their head, but they're gonna carry you.
Yeah. It is, I mean, it actually is a dream. You know, it's the ending. Sorry to spoil Mario 2 for everybody. But it's a dream. But...
Let's tell us about spoiler cast with Myke.
Especially near the end. I can't wait to tell you guys
this
what
whole
happened at the
thing
end. But, like... Yeah, I mean, like, them never going back to it is just so weird to me. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna commit to, like, putting Mario in that game, like, why not? Like, after 3, like, why not go back to 4?
You know, like looking back at it now, like over the long time period, like they did 1, it was successful. They tried something new at 2, it didn't work, and they just went back to enhanced the 1 formula over time, iterated, and that's their formula now for 2D Marios.
16.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Excuse me.
Megabyte download.
Spoilers and pirating games.
Oh, Lord. That's a new podcast name. Spoilers and pirating games. Jesus Christ.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum.
Yo ho ho and a couple of ROMs.
So yeah, it's. I got it. It's not necessarily that it's a bad game. It's just I don't like it.
Fair enough.
And it should be wiped off the face of the earth.
That's a strong opinion.
Hey, I gotta spice things up here somehow. Rather than just saying I don't like it. I'm not saying it's terrible.
Just put it up on Twitter underneath the show account though, at least. All right.
So let's
make the joke.
Let's dive into
terribly
beloved franchise, especially in the last year. God of War, Ascension.
We did that whole like multiplayer thing too. It was so
all right, multiplayer garbage. But also, even just the story though too. There was so many times where that camera would zoom out, and I'm like, "Where the fuck is Kratos? Where is he? I don't know what. I lost him. Where's
he? Waldo? Find the guy with the red hat.
Like it.
Find the guy with
and like
just bad.
I know this is stupid, and I know I'm stupid, but like 3 was great. We all love.
Yep.
Excuse me, I love 3, and like Kratos in 3 is just like a shaved gorilla. Like he's just a massive man.
Right.
Then you play Ascension, and he's like a third of the size.
Which it's a prequel, so fine. If you want to go justify that way, fine.
The juice hasn't kicked in yet.
It's bulking season.
Yeah.
He's working.
But it's Kratos.
Yeah,
Like, who cares? Like,
You bulk in the winter,
this guy up.
and then you cut in the spring if you're ready for beach season.
bulk him up and cut that multiplayer shit.
And like, I wish they would have continued more of the story from like the PSP games
Yeah.
because those were good.
Those are
games, and
fantastic
the stories
games.
were
I
really
know.
good.
Yep.
And
They're so good.
Up until this the most recent iteration of God of War, like that was the most like personable and human Kratos ever was in those PSP games. So I thought maybe that would be a little bit more of a vibe. That he'd be having a little more like family oriented, not family oriented, but you know what I mean, like more personable and have more of a more likable as opposed to just yelling and slicing things like that. And I don't know, like it was just you're right, totally. Ascension was just.
Bleh.
I remember doing the beta of the multiplayer. I mean, like, what am I doing?
I
What's
know.
going on?
What am I doing in
I
my
know.
life?
Where's Kratos? This sucks.
This sucks.
See, it's what you just mentioned there, like somewhere in your rant, was like God of War was a thing for the longest time as a series, and I feel like it wasn't until this last one came out, which is by all accounts a masterpiece in gaming.
Yep.
And that like once that one came out and people liked it, they're like suddenly like out of the woodwork, like everyone who was sitting silently in corners forever, they're like, good. Kratos was such an unredeemable character. He's a piece of shit. Those games are just button mashers.
Yeah.
Like just shitting over all of the whole series, which I don't know. Did none of them have the guts to speak up and say this prior to the new one coming out, or what's going on? But
Because
it's like
everything besides Ascension got fantastic reviews too.
and those are all
And that's,
good games.
I mean,
love them all.
were people afraid to be like the outspoken voice against it, saying this is terrible, or
I don't know.
did one person say it and then everyone else was like, yeah, that makes sense?
Probably. And I think it's also like I got to the point where like by the end of 3, I think people were just kind of just fatigued by it, and it wasn't like. So it wasn't like this big build. It was like this big build up of fatigue at the end of it. But they thought it was also the end of it, right?
It's like right. They thought it was the end of it, and then it was like, oh, okay, this is a prettier God of War, but still plays the exact same way it's always played. I think that's why people were like, okay, this is great, but going forward, you have to give us something different.
And I think in this, like I remember when the Ascension, it got a little bit of that, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was like after God of War 2018 came out. Like, it wasn't even close to that. What else do I got here? Oh, Devil May Cry 2.
I had that too.
Oh man, I play it. Love the first one.
Story wise, okay,
Fine, but they,
it's so easy.
it's super easy. The environments are just bland as bland can be.
Oh yeah.
And after playing Devil May Cry 1 and being in like the castles and like it was really really cool. I was like, oh, you think be more outside now? Like I don't want to be outside.
Basically, Resident Evil 1.
I'm playing this game because I don't want to be outside.
Yeah.
The outside sucks.
Yeah.
So the game came out. It wasn't the same developer. It wasn't the same director. I'm sorry. Came out like 16 months after 1 did, and it showed. It wasn't. You can tell, like
Well, I think I'm sure 1 was like bigger than they expected, and that's probably why they're like, all right,
let's go.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And so 2 was just. I don't think I even got past probably 3 or 4 hours of it. And I was just like, I'm not enjoying this at all.
I beat it in 2 days because it was one of those things where I just kept flying through it. I just kept flying. I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, Devil May Cry pushed back at you. 3 even more so. Holy shit!
Well,
3 really pushed back.
And I
at
think
you.
that was the thing. Everyone complained about 2 being too easy. So they're
Not
like,
fun.
all right, fuck you.
I'll show you too easy.
Huh? You want to get past that first level?
Bring it
I
back.
don't think so.
That's too far. No, but yeah, it was man. 2 was just so. I don't remember. I remember kind of a red buildings and skies, but outside that, completely. There's not a thing to remember about that game whatsoever.
No. Terrible.
Let's get out. Is that it?
No, I did have one more. Where did there it is. Madden 06.
Which one was that one?
Oh, that was the first one on 360 and the next gen, wasn't it?
I don't know about that. There was one feature in particular that made that game terrible. You know what, Mike?
Michael Vick?
No.
Oh, was it the cone?
Yeah.
Oh, the cone.
The passing cone.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The cone was bad.
That was terrible.
If you weren't Peyton Manning,
I say if you were Peyton Manning, it was great. If you used a Bears quarterback, you had this much space.
Oh my god, I forgot about the cone.
you could. I remember turning it off immediately.
Yeah.
But the cone was such a bad idea.
Yeah, that's all I got on that.
That's really all you can say.
The cone. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I got a couple more. And I've talked about this before, so I won't go in great detail at all. Alone in the Dark.
Oh yeah.
The 2008 reboot on 360 and PS3. Fucking garbage. Which was a shame because Alone in the Dark, the new Nightmare that was on PS1 was fantastic. And then my last other one. People who love this game will hate me for this, but Final Fantasy XI. That was the first MMO.
It was okay. I was like, I remember it. I remember it being a thing. I don't remember why I didn't play it.
That was the first MMO. I tried playing it. It was just too freaking hard. And you had I played for 6 hours. I was level 3. Like 3 or 4. Like it was the grinding on that game was brutal. It was just the most brutal MMO I've ever played. And I don't know if it ever got better or anything. I know people that are crazy obsessed with that game. So good for you. But that was just so bad for me. It was just that was just so disappointing because then I guess you could also tie in the original Final Fantasy 14 as well because that MMO was terrible to start with. But then they rebooted it with that Realm Reborn. I did play that for a little bit and that was excellent. So
it was still going.
It's still going, and I get an itch every once in a while to dive back into that. I can't believe it's still not free to play though. It's still a $15 a month subscription.
Games like that still exist.
Yeah, which is why I'm having difficulties diving back in because it's I got to make sure I'm going to dedicate myself that whole month, but too much shit's coming up.
Of course.
So,
all right, my last couple really quick. Fable 3. I loved 2. I still adore 2. 3 came out and the hook was ultimately you're going to be a king looking over your kingdom and making choices, which happens at the end of the game. But the way they do it is all right, day 1 make a choice, day 2 make a choice, day 3 make a choice, day 365 make a choice. It was what happened? I just missed. I thought I was planning to every single day to make some decisions here and do some stuff, and then it's 365. Then 2.5 years in, 8 years in, 10 years in, well, I have no money because I didn't plan for this because I just missed 3 years of my existence where I could have maybe turned some things around here. And it was just
how many of those days did you plan to kick a chicken?
You don't kick chickens in any game because he will attack you.
Kick the chicken. Coward.
You will die.
Coward.
Well, it didn't do a lot of the same things where it was the way you would interact with village, the people in the village. It didn't have that same level of charm 2 had. 2 was just I didn't have an X version of Xbox. I never played the re-release version of 1. So I never played
it's
1.
Basically 2 with 1 story now.
Okay.
They totally made it better.
Then I probably should play it because I adore 2.
I don't know if it still is, but it was on Game Pass. Yeah, so that's how I started playing it again, and I'm
it's so good. It's just so charming. It's just you can do so many different things, and you can be a complete dickhead. Everybody can be super dark. You can be funny. You can have a million kids. You can buy condoms if you don't want to have kids.
Yep.
You can.
Is there a vasectomy option in there?
There actually might be. But I just really loved it. I loved 2 so much. And I was into 3, and I had one of those things where I ended up finishing 3 over a 4-day span. I mean, it's a big game, so I played it a lot over those 4 days. It's I'm not enjoying this at all anymore.
No.
All right, last but not least, my beloved Resident Evil. I have 2 games on this. I've never played 6. I need to say that because obviously it's not on here.
6 is underrated.
6 I'm going to play the second it becomes on sale at some point because it's the only mainline game I've never played. I've played a bunch of I've even played a bunch of the awful offshoots. But I have 2 games I want to mention in this. 2 lowlights. The mainline game, 5. Art was there. Art saw me play 5.
I almost had to play 5.
Art almost had to play 5 because the AI was so bad on your companion character in 5. I was I just need you.
I walked through the front room. Mike's I might need you to jump in here. I'm you're at the end of the game. I don't even know what the fuck the buttons do. He's I don't care.
Fine.
He's just stand off to the side and heal me.
Yes,
or pick me up or whatever.
I will pause and tell you the stuff I need because my companion character is throwing flashbangs at the final boss. This is nothing for anybody. This is pointless. But then the action was good. It still had a very similar feel to 4 in terms of the action piece of it. Some of the big set pieces were fun, but just the AI was just so bad in that game.
Well, I agree. Because the first time I played through the game was the full game was co-op.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, this was great.
That'd be fun.
I had a ton of fun with it. And then I went back and I played it. I tried playing it again, and I was like, no,
It's so bad.
no, the AI was terrible.
Like the AI would be throwing stuff at a boss who was like you're waiting for the boss to like open up a shield, or I forget what it was, but like basically they were invulnerable. Like they couldn't hurt him at all. And they're like using all the heavy attacks right off the bat. Like, you're not doing any damage and you're wasting all my good stuff. Stop it! No. So it was just so bad. And then the other one I want to talk about, I get the official title here because I forget it. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. I bought that game at they had the Target Special Edition on sale for like $25. I was like, well, whatever. Regret every dollar of that. So talk about bad AI. Now imagine the bad AI from 5 and multiply that plus 2 more teammates. So you're just surrounded by morons the entire time you're playing this game. The hook was like you're like one of the special forces for Umbrella. Like you're basically the bad guys in this. It happens between 1 and 2, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So it happens between 1 and 2. So you're basically trying to get into Raccoon City to basically wipe out the virus, wipe out any existence or any leftover evidence of the virus. So you're trying to go there, wipe everything clean. Really cool premise. While you're in there, you have some different ways to, because you got zombies obviously, and other human beings. You're also trying to wipe other human beings out. But you can actually use the zombies to like lure the zombies into the other human beings, and there's a multiplayer thing. The story made no sense. It was completely inconsequential to anything cool. You got to go back to a couple of locations that you were in the past, which was kind of neat. But beyond that, there was not another redeeming quality in that game. It is awful, and I had the full special edition. I played to the end of it because I was just like, I've gone this far. I'm gonna finish it. It was just so bad. It was a joy turning that game back in.
I remember.
Need 2 more sandwiches to fill your punch card.
I remember playing that at E3. When I went to E3, that was there, and I remember I was playing with a couple people. We got off. We looked at each other. We're like, no.
Yep. Where were you?
I was saying, he was at E3. Didn't you still tell a story?
We looked at each other. We were just like, this is not it. We don't want this.
Was it one of those things where like you play the demo and they had like staffers there? Like, what'd you think?
No, they were just like, oh, thank you for playing. And then I just looked at them. I shook my head and I walked away. it was because I mean, honestly, the people there, they're hired just to work. They're not actual like the developers. If they're just, they're
not the developers, but like sometimes I think they send like. Not necessarily like they don't hire people, but maybe they send like their own like marketing people who are like, hey, what'd you think? Like getting feedback.
Right? Yeah. No, they didn't say that. They just said, oh, thank you for playing. And just, I looked at him, I just shook my head and I walked away. And the guy's like, the guy that I was playing with, he's like, what did you think? I was like, this is bad. He's like, yeah.
Like the gunplay was bad. Like the controls, the control scheme was bad too. I feel like it was one of those games where you were like, there wasn't a button to like get into cover, so you had to like go up to a cover and it would like duck down, so you gotta hope
you like run into the wall and then it like automatically do the animation.
So you would hope that you would get against the wall. So I'm like going against the wall, I'm just standing there as like bullets are entering my head. It was just so bad. It was so terrible. Bad. That's what I got. You know what? Nobody have anything else?
No.
All right. My gift to you finally was my gift to Art.
I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
Yeah, my gift to you is a point where one of us gives someone else a game they never played before, give them a chance to play something new and exciting, come back with reviews and thoughts and things of that nature. And I gave you Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice.
Yes.
So, what do you think?
So, initial, like, just brief thoughts. I loved it until I didn't.
Okay.
So, going more into those thoughts.
Yes. Please.
So playing through the first, like up until, I don't know how far this is into the game because I didn't finish the game. But I played up until the part where you get to the trials, where there's a sword lodged in the tree.
Okay, you're pretty far.
It seemed like it was close to the end of the game.
So you beat both of the branching bosses.
Yeah.
The first 2 bosses.
So beat both the bosses. All the other combat, I enjoyed the combat in the game. I wish there was more diversity in the characters, or at least the AI in the combat.
Right.
The bosses, like everything. Once I figured out what the buttons are, because you don't get a tutorial. Yeah. You can go in the menu and see the buttons, which I didn't realize until I paused it to I don't know, eat a piece of candy or something. You pause it, and it does show you what the buttons do, which was helpful because I didn't even know there was a block button or parry, whatever you call it.
Yeah, you definitely need parry in that game.
But I thought the combat was, once you figure out that there's however many different types of enemies, you figure out their patterns, it's pretty easy. The bosses I thought were easy. Going through the game, I got to the part with the trials, did the first 2 trials, they were easy. And I hit one trial that broke me.
Okay, which one?
It was the one where you have to find the 3 symbols for the door, and you're running through, and the fire monster's chasing you.
Yep.
Up to that point, I think I had died twice. And one was like the first battle I was in, because I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah.
And you're supposed to die in that one.
The one after that.
Okay.
Because, that first one, like,
They keep throwing enemies at you until you die.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with the game, there's I don't know what it is, like a dark thing that creeps up your arm, and if it gets to your head, game's over, permadeath, your save's gone, you lose.
Which may or may not be true.
Yeah,
But it fucks with your mind.
With how this trial went, I'm thinking it's not true, or if it is true, you have to die a lot to get it.
Yeah.
So you get to this trial, and you're basically in the game. You see doors, and you focus on them, and there's symbols, and you have to find where that symbol is in the environment. It might be on the wall. It might be a shadow on the ground. You might have to line up like certain like trees to make the symbol. And you focus on it, and once you get all the symbols, it unlocks the door. So you go into this one trial, and right off the bat, there's this fire monster chasing you, and he's busting through walls. And the part that got me was I died like 6 or 7 times in a row. I got all the symbols. By the time I got all the symbols, he had me cornered. There was nowhere I can go.
Yeah, right.
I felt like the way they set that up, it wasn't... Also in this game, like, they're trying to tell a tale of someone who's dealing with psychosis. So you're hearing voices the whole game. If you play this game, definitely wear a headset. And like the voices, like what I'd read about the game or heard about the game beforehand was like the voices will like give you incorrect instructions at first. Sometimes they'll give you incorrect instructions. It's kind of all over the place. The voices will praise you sometimes. Other times they'll call you stupid and say like, "Oh, why'd you do that? You can't go back." Even though the game is very linear, it's scenic, but it's linear. There's like 1 or 2 paths you can follow, and you end up in the same destination regardless. And the voices, like I could, sometimes they told me to do stuff that was helpful. Like you're in
behind you.
Yeah, behind you. When you're fighting enemies and a new enemy spawns behind you, behind you, you tap dodge real quick to get the hell out of there. When you're fighting the bosses, you get to a point in like the second or third like tier of the boss battle where you have to focus on them to make them vulnerable to attacks again. And they'll say focus, and you focus. But there's other times where they're like, you'll have one saying, "Oh, you're on the right." Like they're contradicting each other and all that. But I got into this trial, and I'm just like going and going, and I keep dying, and I keep dying, and I keep dying, and I keep dying. And also, like when this fire monster gets close to you, your vision gets all blurry. Yeah. And at some point in there, it goes from being a game that's trying to challenge you to a game that's being difficult just for the sake of being a pain in the ass. Like, you could sit there and have the pressure of this guy chasing you, and your vision doesn't need to get all blurry, or at least as blurry as it gets, because then you're running into walls, and you know what? Unless you know that map by heart, you're going to run into fucking walls when it gets blurry, and it doesn't get blurry until the guy's right up your ass, so at the worst possible time. And, like, after going through it so many times, I'm like, you know what? This is no longer worth my frustration. I'm like, I know I'm close to the end. Maybe I'll go back to it at some point. I'm not sure I will. Up until that point, I was really liking the game. I was kind of confused by what's going on in the game, because as you're going through and playing as Senua, you're playing and she's in like this warrior getup, and she has this like war paint across her face. But then there's cutscenes where she doesn't have that across to her face, and she's talking to her boyfriend who, according to the story, has died sometime in the past, and she's trying to reconnect with him in this world where she's dressed up like a warrior. I'm not sure if where she's dressed up as a warrior, is that all in her mind, that whole thing? Or, because also in the cutscenes later in the game, like, she's yelling at her father, and she's like, "I'm leaving, and I have to go do this." And what she had to go do? Go into combat? Was she leaving to go have a complete mental breakdown? I'm not quite sure what was going on there. I didn't know where the line was between reality and what's going on in her head.
Right. Which I think is part of the. Cause, I mean, honestly, because you're playing as Senua, so like that's why you're hearing voices when you have the headset in.
Right, and
that's why like they're giving the like. I feel like I talked about this when I first played the game. That like I feel like wherever that like the rot, I think is what they call it.
Yes,
the rot that crawls up your arm. Like every single time, you can see it move. Like you can see it like when you die, you can actually see it move. So like,
and like I feel in that trial when you said like you're not sure if the whole permadeath thing is real.
Yeah.
In that trial, as I died, like it got to her shoulder, and I never saw it progress past there.
Right. So
which
like,
I think it should have like at least gone up on the neck.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of the game, like you can see, like I had it close to the middle of my neck. But I think that's like the paranoia you're supposed to feel. Again, it's another like piece of psychosis that's happening to you, the player, as opposed to whatever it is. So I think like the whole like not knowing your true intentions are the same thing as like the voices in Senua's head telling her contradicting things.
Yeah.
Which is like the point of the game.
Right. But like there are some really cool mechanics in there. Like one of the trials you have to go through and you have to look through these giant masks to switch between the light world and the dark world, which obviously, light world's good, dark world's bad. But when you're in the light world, like the voices in your head are kind of like reassuring and positive and like telling you to go find your, deceased boyfriend who just shows up as like a silhouette of light in the world. And when you go into the dark world, that's when they start basically shit talking you and like you're worthless, you're doing this wrong, it's your fault he died, all this other stuff. So I can appreciate what they were trying to do with most of the game. But when I got to that one trial, I really feel like the line between difficult gameplay and bullshit to frustrate you, like it landed on the wrong side of that.
I'm trying to think. I remember feeling lucky getting out of that section. Like I just made the right beeline path and got to where I needed to do and get the hell out of there.
I got it.
I don't remember being like, oh, I had to do this one trick. I feel like I just like got lucky and did the right set of circumstances to get out of there.
And like by the time I like the last 4 runs I made through it or so, like I knew where the symbols were, like symbol, and like regardless of what order I did them in, like the monsters had you cornered.
Yeah, right.
And like once he gets you cornered, then the vision just goes completely blurry. Like you can make out that there's wood walls in front of you, but you can't tell where there's an opening to turn or a wall to duck under or anything. And like I said, after a couple, I want to say like I went through like 7 or 8 times and died, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to sit here and play something that's just being a pain in the ass to be a pain in the ass.
Fair enough. I hope we go back into it because, like I said,
it's one of those things. Like when I finished it, I'm like, I was sitting there like on the menu. I'm like, do I just delete this? Because that's how pissed off I was by it at that point. And I'm like, you know what? I'll leave it there. Maybe I'll go back to it at some point. If I'll go back to it in a few weeks, then I'll delete it. I still have the game save and it's still in the PlayStation Store if I ever want it. But it's one of those things. Like I heard so many great things about it, and like I said, up until that trial, I was enjoying every bit of the game. Mm-hmm. And then like there's that line, and for me, it just landed on the wrong side of that line.
At a minimum, go YouTube clip that thing, man. Like I said, it's totally worth finding find out what happens with the rest of that story. It's really good, and like I said, I still think it's a unique experience in gaming.
It definitely is. That's like, it's one of those things. Like I complain, like the combat's not that hard, it's not that diversified, but I don't think the combat's supposed to be the focus of that game. The focus of that game is supposed to be the experience.
It's damn near a walking sim.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, the combat, once you realize what each enemy does and whether they like do strong attacks or quick attacks or you have to, melee to break their shield block or whatever, it's super easy as far as combat goes.
Very good. All right, anything else you got to say about Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice?
No.
Okay.
If you do, like I say, there's a billion reviews out there. Go check them all out. Don't just take my opinion on it because, like I said, a lot of people did really enjoy that game.
Just came out on Switch as well.
I was just going to say, I've been thinking about it on Switch.
Get it on something else for headset support.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Plug the headphones right into the Switch.
Will it work with the whole 3D, like...
I would say, yeah.
Audio? I don't know.
You got to get the 3D audio. Yeah. Like, it's half of the experience.
Yeah. I say the audio is a big part of that. Like, I played it with my headset on. Like I said, play with the headset on for the best experience. I don't know if I would have enjoyed... like the audio engineering as much, and I enjoyed but appreciated as much if I was listening, like playing it on my soundbar or playing it with like just a stereo headset.
100%.
I mean, I would think because since that's the way they want you to play it.
It's on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is on Game Pass. That's right. All right, so maybe I'll just play it there then. Yeah, no, I would think though if that's the way because that's the way they want you to play with the headset that they would correctly modify it for the Switch though to make it work properly. I would think
the review's been good for a Switch one, for a Switch port as well.
I heard it looks gorgeous actually on the Switch.
So, I really do enjoy that. I love that game a lot.
But yeah, last note on it, I always talk about how much I enjoy the sound in like Rainbow Six, where like I have a fancy headset and I have it configured to the point where a grenade hits in the room and I can tell you it hit in that corner.
Yeah, right.
Like this game takes, you can tell they put a lot of effort into the sound and making that work the way they wanted it. Also, like something I just found interesting, knowing like kind of the backstory of the game and the development of it. When you start the game and they start showing like the credits of developers, first thing they show is like their psychological consultant is the first name they show. So
when you beat the game, there's a half an hour, 40-minute documentary that opens up that you can watch. It is super interesting to watch. The sound design piece of it, like how they actually like recorded some of that stuff. They actually had like people like surrounded like a microphone, like a 3D microphone, and they're just like talking at it.
That's
like,
crazy.
Into the thing.
That's
and then
crazy.
he talked about like how they actually like interviewed people with like schizophrenia and things of that same type of issues, and like they're saying like this is the most this represents what I feel more than anything else I've ever experienced. Like it's been in a movie or TV show, like this is the most realistic feeling that I have of what I feel when I'm having my issues, which is just mind blowing. And like I said, that's why I think that's why they got like top billing on credit, because that is a huge part of this game.
yeah, and I think it's like the other thing too is like it's someone's opinion of what that experience is like, like what they think that experience would be like. Because I mean, if someone's really going through that, I mean, you're not going to stick them in it. Hey, you're going through psychosis right now and have a really bad time. Here, let me throw you in this environment that simulates exactly what you're going through and is, putting you through the worst time in your life.
Right. All right. So that completes the cycle of my gift to you. Many, many cycles of my gift to you. So usually when we finish one, sometimes we do something special. So we decided, since with Stadia being introduced and the all-digital streaming dystopia that we're all careening into at fastest speeds and we can't stop it, we're going to embrace it. So we're all going to activate our 7-day free trial of PlayStation Now. Try streaming some games. Maybe download them. Maybe see how that speed works.
I was just gonna stream.
Fair enough. Whatever.
Just to kind of get the Stadia like.
And I just want to see obviously these are two different services, so it has like any impressions that we have on this has nothing to do with Stadia.
Absolutely.
But I think just trying a streaming service would be interesting on a console. So we're all gonna try it, and we're all gonna report back on how we feel about PlayStation Now.
I want to say I looked through their game list not that long ago. There was a sale on Amazon for like $60 for a year of PlayStation Now.
Yeah, I've almost pulled the trigger multiple times. I just never have.
Their game list didn't look super impressive last time I checked it, if I recall correctly.
There's some decent stuff on there.
The nice thing about this though, if mistake me if I'm wrong, but we've got every era, don't we? 1, 2, 3, and 4 games.
2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's fine though. I mean, but that's like I'm gonna make it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to make the effort to stream one from each era.
They got Battleborn.
Ooh.
Son of a bitch. Who the fuck's still playing that game?
He's a MOBA. I don't know if you knew that.
Idiots.
I knew it. I knew it all along.
Are you still playing Battleborn? You're a fucking
There's
idiot.
Bioshock 1, 2, and Infinite.
They have Ben 10.
Ooh.
Hey.
There's some decent stuff on there. I can't read like this.
Look at good PS2 games.
I don't even know. Borderlands 2, Ultimate Edition.
All the Borderlands.
All of them pre-sequel. Braid.
They got Blood Rain. I want to play Blood Rain.
I don't think so.
Damn it.
I thought we just passed it.
Blood Rain.
Oh,
Blood Rain Betrayal.
I'm good. I'm good.
It has the word Blood Rain in it.
I'm good.
I bought Catherine twice and never played it.
I'm pretty sure my strategy going into this is I'm going to fire up one of the Uncharted games.
There you go.
Just because I'm familiar with the game and how it should run.
I'm going to just try a little bit of a bunch of stuff.
That's my initial strategy. I'm probably going to poke around after that.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Is Untold Legends for PS3 on there?
Untold Legends. I don't even know what that is.
It's a Diablo style.
Oh,
I do.
It was on PS. It was on PSP, which was awesome.
You don't know because it's Untold. Nope.
Damn it! I never played it on
have
PS3.
Until
I
Dawn?
always wanted to, and I heard it's terrible.
Oh god, they have Umbrella Corpse.
Oh god!
God.
Do not play that.
They have the first 3 Uncharted's.
There you go. Yeah, not the
What's Vegas Party? That sounds like a game I'm gonna play.
I'm gonna try some weird shit, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna really try. All right, so we're gonna do that.
Cool.
All right. Snake. Final words.
Okay, mine. It's too much for we've gone long, kind of long. So what I have is long.
Okay.
So
then I will. All right.
I'll hang on to it, even though it does go with like, cause like I was just really quickly just gonna bring up the whole easy mode thing with Sekiro. So we could talk about.
Let's jump into that next time.
Yeah.
'Cause I have some
All
thoughts
right,
on that.
I as well.
Okay, so we'll talk about that next time.
All right, so I am going to spoil the shit out of Walking Dead last season here in a minute. I won't take it's already like midnight, right? So I won't take up much. Oh my god, it's 12:30. I won't take up much of our time with it.
Some of us got to work tomorrow.
All of us have to work tomorrow. Anyway, all right. So
You don't work.
So if you want to find out what happened on the final season of Telltale Walking Dead, stick around. Otherwise, we will see you next time, Stickheads. Pause for effect.
Ooh, Saints Row the Third. Too bad I just beat that on Xbox recently.
No.
All right. Walking Dead.
Spoiler.
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
You've been warned.
right. So I'm just going to start. So at the other things that basically what made me cry up to the ending. So only thing that made me cry, it was in season 3. There's a flashback.
Episode 3.
What is it?
Is it season 3?
Episode 3. Thank you. In episode 3.
Ooh, Farming Simulator. Sorry.
Stop now. You can finally try one. In episode 3, where like you're mounted. There is obviously you're in this school for troubled kids. That's where you are starting to make a home. You get kicked out of that home because I said, like when I talked about earlier, AJ put a bullet in one of the guy's head. I won't get into what happened. So they kick you out. And then while you're out there, you run across Lily, who was from the first season, who you haven't seen between first season and now. She's been gone. She was excommunicated.
She's the one you kick off the RV in the middle of the road?
Yes. And she's still alive. And
Good for her.
Yeah. So she's still alive, still around, whatever. But she's part of a camp who's at war with another camp. And what Lily's camp is doing is they're basically stealing people to fight in their war for them. And they've already taken a couple of the kids from this camp, and they want to get more. So they're trying to get Clem to say, "Hey, where's this camp?" Yeah,
this is like some Africa war crime shit.
It's nuts. So Clem just got kicked out, and I had the option to be like, "Well, I don't want to tell you where it is," or "Fuck them, they're right over there." I didn't tell him where it was. Long story short, so that's not the important part. The important part is they're coming. So you start fortifying the school. You're welcome back into the school. Like, hey, AJ got hurt. Like, I need you guys to mend him up, to fix him up, and bad guys are coming. So they have like a 2-week like quick cut where like all of the school is now fortified. Right before like they have all that. They fight. They take a couple of the kids. So the couple of kids get taken. One kid dies in my story. I guess he doesn't have to die in the story, but in my story he died. And now I am going to go after them to find out what the hell happened. So the day before I go off on that adventure, as Clem, I'm dreaming. I'm on the train from season 1, and Lee's there. I'm having a talk with Lee and little Clem from season 1. I got misty-eyed because I missed them, and they have an "I love you" moment that they never had in season 1 because they never really had that moment in season 1 because like Clem is a little girl and they're trying to figure out, do I as Lee, do I tell Clem to kill me? And they never got the big like "I love you" moment. So I got that moment finally in that season, which is really cool. Fast forward to episode 4. So those raiders are on a ship. I go to the ship. I blow it up. I'm still on the ship though because shit went awry. I'm on the ship at the end of episode 3. Blows up. I'm like, well, that's why I gotta play it. Well, I gotta find out what the fuck happened.
I'm not gonna sleep after that.
Yeah, so episode 4 opens up. You're Clem, and then you're off to the side, and your hat falls off into the river, and the river's full of zombies. My hat's gone. The hat is the iconic thing. So I'm like, oh fuck, like this is it for her. Like Clem's not gonna make it out of this. You end up escaping. Obviously, the ship blowing up has just attracted all these zombies. There's zombies everywhere. You have some of the raiders still fighting them off and still shooting at you. So you're trying to get all your people, the people that you saved and the people that you brought to save your other friends, trying to get the hell out of there. They end up getting on a horse. Horse gets spooked, and they're all gone. So it's just me, AJ, Violet, who's one of the girls from the camp that you got kind of close with, and then another kid called Tennessee. He's just a smaller kid. He's like a couple of years older than AJ, but he's also he's very naive. You get away, you make your way to a bridge, all four of these characters, the zombies are attacking. One of the girls who got stolen a long time ago, her name is Minerva, ended up like basically being brainwashed and was part of the Raiders now. She's been bitten, and she's attracting all these zombies towards where you're at. Earlier in the episode, I told AJ, like, I can't trust you with a gun right now. Like, I don't trust your judgment. You've shown poor judgment already. I can't trust you with a gun as it stands right now. Zombies are attacking. AJ and Violet is trying to pull Tennessee off of... Okay, let me take a step back. Sorry, I'm a bad storyteller. Minerva is the girl that got bitten, that was stolen before.
Brainwashed, stolen.
Tennessee is her brother. So now he's like trying to like get back to her. Violet's trying to put him off like she's already bitten and she's a terrible person. We get the hell out of here. AJ is like taking the gun. Like AJ's already like, who do I shoot? He ends up not shooting anybody because now he doesn't believe in himself because I made him not believe in himself.
Right.
Other options are he would shoot Tennessee, the kid, and Violet would be like, well, I nothing to say, so she would get the hell out of there. Other one is shooting Violet. So because I made him, gun shy, he doesn't shoot anybody. Violet gets bitten. Tennessee ends up getting away. So it's me, Tennessee, and AJ. In that fight, so Minerva jumps over, gets into a fight. She has a big axe. Ends up slicing Clem, like from the knee all the way down to the ankle. Now she can't run, she can't move, and she's basically with two kids now, like two young kids. AJ's like 6, Tennessee's probably like 10. Minerva gets taken down, you're running away. Tennessee goes in completely opposite direction because he's an idiot. So it's just me and AJ. I lift AJ up on a rock. I start climbing. Zombie grabs me by the ankle, and you don't see his face. You hear Clem like screaming. His face kind of gets buried in like where her leg is, like the same blade that got cut. Gets out of there, gets pulled up. You have a moment where you're like, did she get bit? Did she not get bit? And Clem's like, I don't know. And then they make you. You're looking at the boot that's all cut up. It's been sliced with the axe. So with the left stick, you got to pull it left. You don't see anything. You pull it right. You see a bite mark. I was like, mother. Like I was so upset. Like son of a bitch. Like I was so upset that like Clem is bit now. It's just Clem is AJ, just zombies fucking everywhere. She can barely walk. We end up stumbling away out of there, and you find a barn, you hole up in a barn, and it's just like the end of season 1 where like Lee is like starting to like drain color, that like greenish nasty zombie color, losing blood, can't really walk anymore. You finally get into the barn and you're now playing as AJ, like closing up doors and stopping the zombies from coming in. Every once in a while you go back to Clem and you're shooting the guys while AJ is moving around. You have a moment where there's now the surrounding is now secure. It's just Clem bleeding out, losing her color, maybe turning into a zombie, maybe she's just bleeding out. We don't know. And AJ's just like, I just want to stay here with you. Like I don't want to kill you. I'm not going to kill you. I know we talked about this. But I don't want to kill you. I just want to sit here, and then we're just going to die together, and then we're still going to be together. But I mean, we're going to be zombies, but we're still going to be together. And Clem's like, no, you can't do that. Like you have an option to be like, run away or kill me. I did the same thing I did in season 1. I told AJ to kill me. But I have no bullets in my gun because I used them all on the zombies. So all I have is now just the axe that got used originally that sliced Clem open. So it's just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to kill you. And Clem's like, you got to. Like, you got to do this. You got to move on. You got to live for me. I don't want you to sit here with me. I don't want to, like, turn... And mostly, I don't want to turn to a zombie. AJ picks up the axe, swings it, hear a squish, fade to black. Then, opens back up. It's a flashback. When you're playing as Clem, I thought, is this a dream? Like, what the fuck's going on? It's a flashback that happens after season 3 when Clem is getting AJ back from whoever was holding him. So you get AJ back, put him in the car that you started the season 4 in, and you start telling the lessons that you told it over and over and over and over again. Like, what's lesson 1? Don't go alone. Cut back to AJ in present time. AJ is fishing with a spear by the school, the place I've been to before. Tennessee shows up. Tennessee has the hat. Because wherever he went, the hat would end up being there. He grabbed the hat, Tennessee's been gone for like 2 weeks, and shows back up alive. Asks AJ to be like, hey, can you like help me like not die? Because she's an idiot. AJ is like a strong, like very, very strong, and understands how to survive. He's like, yeah, I'll help you, blah blah blah. And they start walking back to the school, and they start playing a song that was the ending credits from season 1, and it was just like, holy God. And it's like a slow-mo walk, and then you're seeing other characters that were in the school, like there was a couple that got together. You see one of the kids climb from a tree. You see another kid like tack up a sign that says, don't fuck with us, with a dead body on there. Like you see like all these people that you get a little bit of a feel for as you're going in there. You turn around as AJ, you call the dog in. There's a dog, you call him in, close the doors, they pan over to like the school like crest, fade to black. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's not it. They go back into the school. AJ is now still walking.
So this is Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. All over again.
I'm like a mess at this point. I'm just like an emotional.
Stop toying with my emotions.
I am an actual emotional wreck. At that point, like I'm like
last case of
a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh my God! Like it is like okay. Like if it was just like squish fade to black, I've been okay with it. But like I don't know what happened. I kind of understand what happened. I'm left up with my own devices. It was really Clem's story. So like if the axe hit her and that's the end of the story, that makes sense. The flashback was whatever, but then like the walk up, the slow music, and like I'm not taking control, and it was.
I think I know how this ends.
Very cinematic, and I was just like, oh God, and it's like, not it. Go back, and then they cut back to AJ walking in, and then you hear all of a sudden, "Hey goofball," which is what Clem would always call AJ. Then they pan over, and Clem's alive. I'm like, isn't it a fucking dream sequence? Like, what's going on here? But they show AJ cut her leg off. Which is something they have done in the Walking Dead series before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And then they have like and then just like, at that point, I'm just like a mess. I'm just an absolute wreck. Because I just felt so bad. I was just like, and and I don't know, like, did I do, like, I'm internalizing this, but it was just like, did I do something wrong? Did I make a choice that like made Clem die and then, show him back up? And they have one last dialogue between the two of them. And Clem's just like, I had no idea what I was doing. Like this whole time, I was making everything up. Like, did I do okay? And he did. And you have options like, AJ's like, yeah, you did great. We're like, yeah, I knew you weren't. You had no idea what you're doing. The whole time, I knew you had no idea. There's a bunch of different options. They show Clem. She's smiling. They cut. They show AJ again walking through the school, and this is really cool. They have like there's graffiti on the walls because it's a kids' school with only kids there now, so they put graffiti on the walls. It was actually all the developers from Still Not Bitten. Like they had them like all the signatures on there, and they had Still Not Bitten. Like it was like white, superimposed, like breaking the fourth wall. And you're walking, you're walking to where your room is, and then you turn the corner, and there's a big Skybound Studios thing on there. You get into your room, you place your last couple of trinkets there's collectibles, your last couple of collectibles that you've collected, and the very last thing is you take Clem's hat and you put it by the window. It has like wind blowing, sunshine goes through. Thank you for playing. That's it. That's the end of the game.
Nice.
So I know a lot of people were kind of pissed that like Clem lived, like not because like it is because like in the Walking Dead like lore, like like Herschel like lost his leg.
Yeah.
In season 1, you can cut off Lee's hand.
I was gonna say I remember it's from an outsider perspective what I'd heard of the last season, and like there's Clem and there's AJ, like it's. The whole thing seemed like kind of a parallel to season 1 to me. And I was, as you were talking, I'm like, wasn't there an option in season 1 to like chop off Lee's arm or something?
Yeah, and if you chop off Lee's arm, he's still infected, but they did it too late.
Right.
So like, the time is very ambiguous in terms of like when she got bit, and then like you're obviously still running away. So the moment from bit to barn I can't be too long.
Right.
So like that would probably still be in a time frame where it can work.
I feel like in season 1, like Lee covered it up for days or something.
Yeah, it was like days later. Yeah. And like when Herschel did it like in the comic books, and like they were like saw bandages, like we did this right now type of a thing. So like they did like right away. Yeah. So there's like there's not like definitive answer like it needs to be done in the first hour. Like there's no one knows. Right. So it's kind of it's like a trial and error type of thing. And AJ was just like, I gotta try it. Yeah. And did it. And even like in that last conversation that Clem has with AJ, Clem's like, I know I questioned your ability to like make good decisions, but I'm sorry because this was definitely the right decision because I'm still alive, type of a thing. So like, even though you taught him a million things, like the moment he kind of went away from it, like saved your life, which is just like a weird like thing to think about in the child and parent dynamic that went through the whole thing. But man, then the last thing was like that barn was surrounded by zombies. Like, how did AJ cut off her leg, bandage it with no bandages, presumably,
Right.
and get the hell out of there? And there's a lot of questions. So talking about, like, removing your sense of reality, like, you got to do that a little bit with this one.
Suspend disbelief.
Exactly. So, like, there's probably a decent amount of that, but at the end of the day, like, I'm happy. Like, I know, like, I really want Clem to live more than anything else, and like, when I was looking through the choices at the end of it, like, there's no other choices in there. Like, you can have the choice I didn't make. Like, you can have like romantic relationships with a couple different people. I completely bypass that. And like I said, like, there's choices with like who AJ shoots at the end and who ends up living at the end. Like, there's a lot of people who die in that last 2 episodes. A ton of people who are avoidable to live or die. So, like, there's not a ton of people in my camp by the time I was over it, but AJ and Clem was there, so I was fine. So, I mean, that's really where it kind of was. Yeah. But, like I said, like, I haven't played 2 in so long, like, season 2 in so long, like, I don't know where it, like, really stands. Like, obviously, 1's way better, but 2 and 4 are pretty close in terms of just, like, really cool moments and, like, just really caring about it. So, like, obviously, like, the conspiracy theorists talk about, like, well, Skybound Studios has this IP, like, they can make another Clem story if they wanted to. I don't know how much fun it would be to play, a character with one leg in that story. But I don't know, man. I just feel like
Mecha Clem.
I mean, I feel like this is about as happy as an ending as they could have had, and that's what I wanted. So, like, I resigned to the fact that she died during the second false ending, or third false ending, and I was just like, okay, fine. And then,
to the king.
And then when she showed back up, it was like that was even less like. I was like, I've gone through the stages of grief, and like I have come out the other end, and all of a sudden, like, the thing I was grieving about is right there in front of me, and it was just very, it was a striking moment and something I'm not gonna forget. Like when when you hear "Hey Goofball," and it's just like, real or not, like, what is going on? Yeah. Then you see the leg cut off, and all, like, everything becomes clear, like what happened. So yeah, nothing is gonna reach the height of season 1. Nothing Telltale ever did was reaching the height of season 1, especially episode 5. I mean, all season 1 as a whole is really good. 5 is like exceptional. Episode 5 is exceptional. Nothing's ever gonna reach that. But like this is the last Telltale thing. This is it. Yeah. That was the last thing. Yeah. And so it was like, I told you guys before, like, I was wrecked about it. Am I gonna kill Clem with my choices? And I didn't, and I guess you really can't. So like, I would be very interested to see if the story changed at all between like Telltale and Still Not Bitten, like any that change or how it all panned out. But I was happy with the story that I got, which is really what I paid for.
Cool.
So that is. Any questions? I know it's like. Can
I home go to bed?
Yeah. So I'll leave y'all be. I won't gush more about this, but if you didn't play through all the other ones, you probably don't need to jump into this one. Like, unless you have any kind of like real relationship with Clem, like there's probably no real reason to do all this. And if you do, play 1, play 2, play 4. Yeah. Nothing else matters. All right. That has been a spoiler cast of the final season and the final Telltale game. Final season of Walking Dead from Telltale. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being patient with me. I know I rambled. And then we will see you next time.